Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Captain Quasar, and welcome back to another stream. We have some different stuff to talk about today, some stuff related to the H3 podcast, as always. Um, Not a whole lot, to be honest. Some updates on some stuff, but nothing major. But then we have a few other videos that I've kind of picked out, some stuff I found. And we're also going to look at what LolCowLive has been up to, because honestly, I feel like after that camp was a complete failure, everybody just kind of went, nah, we're just gonna kind of move away. There are people that still, for some reason, give them money every month in hopes that they'll have another crash out or something, I guess. Hello, welcome in, everybody. We will not. I saw that message in chat and I was like, is there an H3 Jeopardy 4? And I went to check. Why are you trolling me? There's the 3, but I want a new one. Tell Alex to get on it. Shop shop Jeopardy boy. But the first thing I have is I've been seeing this song a lot, and I've been wondering if anyone else has been seeing this song or if I'm the only one who's getting like plagued with it. So it's a song. It's a parody of like a basically like a SoundCloud rapper. He was on all platforms, but you get what I mean. You understand the sentiment. But this is Nope, You're Too Late, I'm Already Dad. And it's a parody of a song called Nope, You're Too Late, I'm Already Dead.
I'm not trying to ruin your fun, but cook me burgers with cheese. Oh please, I'm begging you, G, cause I can't rely on Louis. No, she's too mean, and I don't care about pesto. No, I'm not green.
If you see me out in cohort, say hi. But if you meet me at the clam, I'm a talkative guy. Maybe we'll talk over beers and remember the time. And we know even at my lowest, I'm a family guy. Yeah, a lot of white boys do impressions of me. And you always see my clips on your FYP. But that algorithm's always trying to censor me. They're even worse than the fellas at the FCC. Next day I'm walking a moose, choke the boy, it's my fault, my life was comedy gold, but now it's just getting old. I look deep down in my heart, know I should be home with Marge, but work is just getting hard, with Mr. Brazil in charge. I wanna wake up and say, good morning USA, but I can't get out of bed, it's comfy here anyway. I think of Haley and Steve, what will I do when they leave? At least there's Francine and Klaus, but Roger's still in my house.
And the song's just been stuck in my head because the lyrics are too good. It's just too well written. And the funny, it's not funny, but one of the interesting parts is I heard about this song, I looked into it a little bit, and I found out that apparently the guy who created the original song, that parody came out and then he like immediately died. And then people are arguing about if it's that he had like, I guess, allegations or something about him, but it's like, I mean, he's dead, so I mean, let him rest, I guess. But crazy stuff. Good song though. Better than the original. But Ty Jewel also made a new video 2 days ago. It only has 425 views. And he said, I was wrong about Ethan Klein's height. He looks very stoic here. Very stern, assertive. Oh, Alex put it in the Discord that he might be making a new one. Okay, I'll be looking out for that. I'm hoping Ethan's toiling away in the editing dungeon as well. I have to go edit later. I have to go do some stuff and edit and still film some stuff, actually. I'm hoping it'll be done by the end of the week. But that's the goal, but we'll see. But yes, Ethan is very smart for taking the day off, because that means that it's going to be a big project, and I don't know if it's going to be a full, like, what are we expecting? A nuke part 2, a second nuke? Because I thought that he was probably going to drop that over their break, So I'm wondering if this is going to be that, or if this is going to be like something that's just like for the moment, like to kind of talk about the things that are happening currently while still working on the Hassan video. But I guess we'll see. That's the goal. Exactly. I was wrong about Ethan Klein's height. Let's watch it.
Hello, it's Joel. It turned out that I was wrong about Ethan Klein's height. He was actually right about his height. I thought that he was 5'9.5", but he was actually 5'10.5". Also was a little wrong about Gila's height. I guess they're at 5'8.5", but she got measured at exactly 5'9". I would have rounded up her height to 5'9", so at least my guess was close. Yesterday, the H3 podcast DM'd me on Instagram and sent me a video of his measurement from March 21st. He brought the Sika 213 speedometer for $200. He had on socks. He got measured at 5'10.5". The speedometer's rod went on the top of his head. Although I turned out to be wrong about Ethan's height, maybe it was a good thing that I made a video about his height and was wrong, because him buying the speedometer ended the speculation about his height, and he can use it to measure other people's.
He's right. Him being wrong actually, in turn, just made the show better, because now they can test the height of anybody and everybody. All the stolen height valor.
Height, camera angles can be deceiving. When I see him next to other people, he can look like he's 5'10 instead of 5'11. I showed 2 pictures of him in my video by his height, but I actually looked at way more than that on his Instagram page. Usually when I guess people's height, I'll show 1 picture or 2 pictures of them to show how tall they are.
Has anyone seen, there's a guy on Instagram who literally will go through it's pretty interesting. He'll like go through every single video on someone's account and inspect like them compared to door frames and toasters and the microwave, finds out what model the microwave is, and then goes, okay, they're exactly 3.5 microwaves tall. That means they must be 4'11". Like, it's stuff like that. It's very interesting. I'm wondering what Ty Jewel does. Is he's really just go like, just a guess, just off the top of my head.
But it can take me a long time to do research about somebody's height and find the right picture to use for a height comparison.
Okay, so he does do it the right way, it sounds like. It does sound like he does a deep analysis.
When it comes to guessing height, if you can, try to find videos of somebody next to other people, because pictures can have more deceiving angles than videos. Although videos can have deceiving angles too. Guessing somebody's height based off a picture is good if the camera angle is good. If somebody's head looks too big or too small, or their proportions don't look right, that can be an indication that.
Yeah, no wonder Ty Jewel had such a hard time figuring out Ethan's height. All of the images of Ethan in any of his pictures is the same height. It's pretty amazing.
It's good if the camera.
And then the editing of them is just much worse.
Angle is good. If somebody's head.
He looked at this and went, is this a real photo?
Looks too big or too small.
This one's great. Because I would love if he was just like, okay, so if Hassan is 6'4" or whatever, this would make Ethan about 5 foot, maybe 5 foot flat, we would say.
Or their proportions don't look right. That can be an indication that something is wrong with the camera angle.
Okay, well, before we move on to watch this video from Alex, I do want to go look at the Reddit real quick, because there were a few posts that I saw that were kind of interesting. First of all, this one of Oliver Tree. You'll never guess which friend of the show is having a traditional Assyrian breakfast somewhere in the Middle East.
Yes. I'm here sitting with the brother Olive Tree. We're sitting here having.
Oh, he said Olive Tree. It's official.
This thing. The question remains, when are you gonna come?
We have some of the best times of our life here. It's been beautiful.
What do you say to the people who haven't seen or experienced this before?
This is peak level breakfast. I never had a meal like this. We put the tahini on everything, even during meals that maybe shouldn't even have it. But this right here is the most unique flavors and explosions in my mouth has got me going crazy.
Oliver Tree loves explosions in his mouth.
The way it explodes in my mouth, it blows my mind. This right here, peak 10 out of 10 dish. I give it a 10 out of 10, and I don't give 10s ever.
Like Japanese people, what a legend. You're one we can...
Wait, what? Like a Japanese people. What?
And I don't give 10s ever.
Like Japanese people, what a legend. You're one we consider a 10. Imagine he's 10.
My 10 would be at a level that pushes it into the 11, perhaps the 12 area, which that usually goes, we usually don't give those numbers out. That right there is something you could eat every single day of the week.
Beye utamata. What do we say before we eat?
Mdabish.
Get stuck in. Oh, this was also a pretty funny clip of Hassan crashing out and punching, like literally gorilla smashing his couch. I was laughing pretty hard at this, but the reason I thought it was funny is because it shows that he is just like Mike, and birds of a feather flock together. I didn't notice that the first time I watched it. I think I skipped ahead. He fucking destroyed that controller. Look at the bounce he got on it. He threw it right down in front of him. It went all the way across the room. That was amazing. Literally Hulk smashing his couch. Great stuff. And then this was somewhat disappointing. Ethan has said that him and Hunter, Papa Meat, are like friends, you know, internet friends or whatever. They've talked online, they've talked through Instagram. And this was his opinion on the whole situation between Ethan and Hassan. And to me, it just genuinely, I was trying to find the original, because this is such a weirdly cropped like clip. I was trying to find the original to maybe get like the full context of what he's talking about, because it is cut out, and like I think there is like a cut within the video too, so it's whatever. But realistically, I just feel like he was trying to give an answer that's basically something along the lines of, well, you gotta just let it go at some point. And it's like, well, how long do you let things go?
Imagine being H3. Oh my god. You know what's weird? The thing about Ethan, I don't know. In ways, I feel bad for Ethan, or I feel just from Israel. And you have, I don't know. You have all you believe in your mind, like you're a Jewish person that is seeing these things, and you know all these different. It's like, I don't know how I'm supposed to say it. Like, you feel personally connected.
Yeah, I don't know why there was that weird cut. Oh, god damn it. I don't know what's been up with my internet. Literally last night, I did an internet test. Last night, I did one internet test, and it said that I was at like 100 megabytes down, or megabits per second download, 120 megabits per second upload. And then I did a second one, and it said I was like 0.1 download and 0.1 upload, and I was like, what is happening with my internet? So I'm sorry about that. Anybody who thinks that their internet just crashed on them, no, my internet crashed me a bit. But I think we're back now, hopefully.
Do this obviously because it's your religion and all this.
I'll run it back just a little bit.
It's like, I don't know how I'm supposed to say it. Like, you feel personally connected to this obviously because it's your religion and all this kind of stuff. The problem is he can never say that he's wrong about anything. That is the biggest problem with all of these people. Nobody can just be like, nah, I don't know. It is fucked up. This is fucked up. That is the biggest That's the biggest problem with all of these people. Nobody can just be like, "Yeah, I don't know."
This just proves to me that he didn't watch the debate. He doesn't know much about the issue that like they're having and whatever. The just because Ethan during the whole like one of the biggest thing that all the snarkers are saying is like Ethan just conceded everything. He conceded all of the points. And it's just like, well, if anything, Ethan gives too much, like he doesn't give enough pushback at times. When it's just like they're obviously trying to prime for other like points, and you kind of have to stop those in their tracks. But this shows me that he didn't watch it if he's gonna just be like, nobody seems to take accountability. Ethan doesn't take any accountability for how he talks about things.
It is fucked up. This is fucked up. I shouldn't be overreacting to this. I feel like if he
And is it overreacting to talk about the skulls and the CPS and
I feel like
all that?
if he seriously would have been like, I believe this way, I believe this way, and I did overreact. I'm being a bit overreact. I'm overreacting to this right now. I really do think that people would have a different opinion, but it can never be that though, is it? Because everybody else is fucking stupid. Everybody's against me. The chat and the communities are just as worse, man, if not worse.
I guess stick to the animations. The communities are just as worse, if not worse. Astute.
But it can never be that though, is it? Because everybody else is fucking stupid. Everybody's against me. The chat and the communities are just as worse, man, if not worse. I'd probably say that the communities are worse. The communities are way more like, they're just so like, it's like all of them feel like they have like a fucking Excalibur sword in their hand, and that they have to go into any kind of like comment section or conversation just swinging immediately. Ah! That's what it feels like every time.
I mean, yeah. I think if you want to argue that Ethan is too hyperbolic when it comes to the amount of energy he puts towards like countering somebody's opinions or whatever, that's fine. But there's a difference between that and like being angry about CPS being called on you. And because, you know, human skulls got sent to your house.
If someone tried to work it out with him, though, you know, that's fair. It's one of those things, too, where, I don't know. In my opinion, the best way to ever help anybody is to not, really the best thing you can do to help anybody online, don't even fucking interact with them. Don't interact with them. Don't even acknowledge it. Even with all the people being like, oh my God, did you see what he said here? 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 Who cares? Oh yeah, you're canceled, buddy. Oh. No!
Because, yeah, if his opinion is just, I haven't seen much about it, but, like, all I see are clips of people lashing out. Obviously, optically, Ethan might look worse if all you're seeing is clips. Because Hassan is just going like, well, that's wrong. What are you talking about? That's wrong. He's done a lot better at not punching his couches anymore. So I feel like it just manifests in different ways, and people see Ethan getting very like amped up and then take that as him overreacting, even if the like point that he's making is valid. But people are also coming for Ahmed, apparently, for some reason. They're being like, I mean, like basically what Ahmed said was they treat him like he's an Israeli spy and like he's, you know, just a propagandist, even though he literally is deaf in one ear because of a IDF bomb. And he didn't, from what Ethan said, I don't know the specifics, but Ethan was saying that he moved to America when he was like 15, so obviously, probably on some type of asylum. But people are coming because coming for what the fuck is this? Ethan Klein and H3 solicit donations claiming it's for Palestine. Sorry, I need to fucking zoom. I'll read that far away. Ethan Klein and H3 solicit donations claiming it's for Palestine, but the money is actually going to pro-IDF organization Atlantic Council. Realign for Palestine, redefining pro-Palestine advocacy. The Realign for Palestine is a project at the Atlantic Council committed to challenging violent extremism, divisive narratives, and hatred by elevating common sense approaches through policy and action. The Zionists! But then someone said, and I didn't have the time to really look into this too much, and honestly, I'm like listening to the words that they're saying and gonna like show me actual like what the actual like actions that they're putting forward are. Like what is he actually doing in support of Israel? Because it seems like what he's doing is trying to find a middle ground to come to some kind of peace. And obviously that middle ground is like already so far from like where we're currently at. But other people just want to like only find solutions paved in blood, But this person said, someone Googled Atlantic Council in Israel and saw that they have a project within their organization called Project Israel. Basically, that automatically means that the think tank is specifically a pro-Israel, or is specifically pro-Israel. In reality, they are a nonpartisan think tank that is focused on global challenges. They have multiple projects focusing on building relationships and solving conflict with different countries. So they have one for Syria, one for the Tiger Project, War and Deterrence in the Indo-Pacific, Scowcroft, Middle East Security Initiative, Iran Strategy Project, and Next Generation Project. Not to mention their Realign for Palestine, which is a program that Ahmed is leading, which promotes pragmatic, nonviolent approaches in resolving the Gaza-Israel conflict. Maybe it's the nonviolent part that pisses them off. And someone pointed out that somebody was a bad Imma Panda, the somebody that just looked up Atlantic Council in Israel, saw somebody with a Stein in their name and was like, oh my goodness, it happened. Yeah, the Papa Meat clip was cut weirdly. That's why I don't want to like give it too much like credence to be like, oh, Papa Meat's standing with Hassan. It really does seem like he just doesn't know anything about it. But yeah, we move on. I saw people kept reposting this, including Ethan, but it was throwback to when Hassan was crashing out in his Discord because no one was watching his IRL streams in Australia. Can you imagine the backlash if this was Ethan? LMAO. I'm so sad. I think the streams are bangers, but people just don't see them. Well, I mean, what are the IRL streams? I don't think IRL streams are suitable for anything but an IRL like stream audience. So like you kind of have to cultivate that first before you can do like some big IRL stream. Because I think that one thing that people like about like desktop streaming is the very quick reactions, like interactions with the stream. Whereas an IRL stream a lot of the time is like just watching somebody walking around, going to the next area, doing something. You know what I mean? You're kind of, it is something you're peeking into in passing. But we used to be a community. I hate what my community is becoming. I swear, Twitch streaming isn't about the actual content. It's about whether people want to pay attention to you or not. Oh my god. Whether people want to pay attention to you or not. and clout. All that shit was a banger, and 13K watched like I'm fucking gaming at 8 p.m. I love all these people reacting to the crying Pepe, like the crying. These are Pepes, right? The Pepe emojis. Come on, guys. I'm done. I hate this job. I'm not streaming today. I'm gonna kill myself. God damn, yeah. All the fact that I love the reactions to these ones, because what, like, come on, man. It's not that big of a deal. You got 13K, 13,000 people watching you just walk around Australia. Maybe you were doing some cool stuff. Maybe you were doing some banger streams. But you're also a millionaire, so it's like you basically got to film your vacation. Sounds cool, man. But we move on. We're going to watch this video from Alex, and then we're going to move out of the H3 realms. I'm sorry for all the people that come here for all the H3 content. I think there were some new videos. I saw a thumbnail about iDubbbz something, so maybe I'll look at that towards the tail end, but I do have some stuff kind of picked out that I want to look at. So, but first, H3 show Avengers Endgame style. No, Alex. It's Alex the Fiction time. I will say that the H3 podcast has gone through like an Avengers level story arc from the beginning to where we are now and where we will go. It's just never ending. Okay, the Nancy Soul Cycle kind of got me. No, there really are just so many people in relation to the show that aren't even like, wait, who's that guy? Wait, who's this? Like, I'd say all of the people you mentioned in here are important. They're all cogs in the H3 machine. Zach Lewis, King of the Jews. How long did it take you to get all of these photos? Because these are some pretty good ones that you pulled. Like, is this from Dan's Instagram or something? So real. So real for that, Alex. That was good. 420. Ooh, 420. Haha. I just searched old lady on YouTube for Nancy. That's pretty good. I mean, close enough. You could, I mean, if you got like just a back, like the back of some old lady, that's basically Nancy Soul Cycle, right? She's just some old lady. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this because this was just kind of interesting. It's not going to be too long. We don't need to watch the whole thing. But LolCowLive has been going through a bit of a rough patch, a bit of a transitional era. See, ever since Fat Camp was a huge fucking flop. Wait, Dad came on this one? Wait, why the fuck is there a South Park intro? Okay, we're going to click on this one in a second. Ever since... Where was Fat Camp? Fat Camp was that long ago? Wow, it's been a month. But so ever since a month ago when Fat Camp ended, it just really does feel like the show's gone downhill. They keep trying to add new characters. They keep trying to cross over with their other podcasts and stuff. It's a lot of just talking shit, it feels like. I haven't seen, Keem and Boogie accused of supporting domestic violence. Amazing. That's why I think they had to get rid of Wings officially, because the fans were like, no, we don't want Wings. He's going to go stay with Kelly and they're going to stick together and be married in an abusive relationship. And you guys just need to not associate with them anymore, obviously. That's the best thing to do when people are in an abusive relationship. Let them. I'm not saying that they should do something. I just do find that kind of being like kind of a funny narrative. But, oh no, I forgot where we were. But they do so many streams. I got to say, it's commendable. But I do need to see that South Park bit. Yeah, it was this one. Help YouTube by answering one question. Which of these brands would you consider using? Without knowing what any of these are, I'm going to say none of the above.
Ladies and gentlemen, Boogie and I were both sick. In many ways.
Hey guys, check this out. A new boob-tastic game is here. See, I turned off ad preferences. Like? No. Sexual content. Literally says a new boob-tastic game is here. Don't know what else to say other than that. Boom. Submitting that. There you go. Can I get this like removed? Block it. Stop seeing this. Come on. Okay, it's just gonna stay there, I guess.
Just sick of the shit.
Enjoy.
But also throwing up.
Wait, I literally just want to see the South Park bit. Oh, here it is.
Good.
No one will ever believe what I'm about to say, and it's a bad thing to say, but I'll be honest. I was living with the entire belief that I 100% had this cancer.
Tell the truth that you don't have cancer or prove that you do have cancer. Now you're being confronted on one of the biggest lies in internet history.
How did they do like the anime? Like they did the animation so poorly. It's literally just like tweened pop around animation. But they did like stop motion. Actually, like a couple frames.
Sure, go ahead.
And you won't prove it?
No.
You won't prove it?
I'd rather you go ahead and print it.
If this is true, and you lied about
print
cancer,
it.
this is the biggest scandal on the fucking internet.
And it's not, but go ahead and print it.
Why are they giving me a fucking do-rag as the judge? Come on. Have some respect for the fucking court.
Keemstar would totally wear his hat if he was a judge. He would ask how hat is he allowed to wear, and then he would wear whatever they give him.
62% of the audience.
Some kind of cowl, maybe.
Wings and Kelly and a cow.
wants you gone. And 37% of the audience says that you should be able to keep your job. We had to fire Boogie because, he faked cancer.
This is why, Dan, I told you I couldn't talk about this, man.
You can do this.
This is why I told you, no, I can't. I told you I couldn't talk about this.
Boogie, you knocked this out of the park.
I begged you not to make me talk about this on the show. I begged you.
You crushed it.
Great stuff. So this is what they've come to. They just kind of watch their fan animations and stuff of the good old days, the good times. They talk about Creator Clash. They expose it. They actually get Dad on? No. Wait, I'm so confused. If they did, they didn't put a timestamp for it. Amarith. This section's called Amarith. Great stuff. Okay. But anyways, their most recent stream from yesterday was, we had tried to figure this out at one point on stream. They were doing a card game. It's like LolCowLive's card. Let me look it up. LolCowLive trading cards. And we were trying to figure out if it was a real trading cards or if they were just like NFTs. And it does appear that they are actual trading cards. And they go for like a decently high amount, not gonna lie. If you're just getting individual cards, $5 for a card, you're not even getting a pack. Why would I buy individual cards too? Just send me a pack. Like, I get it, but make it at least fun. There's no trading aspect if I can just buy the cards outright. But they are real cards, and Boogie went to this convention to actually sell some of the cards, and they decided to do the TTS thing, and because Boogie will do it and will allow them to say the most heinous stuff and just be like, I'm so angry.
ISLO5 Super Jet.
See, I love the South Park style too, but like, they figured out how to do the Rick and Morty style, which I feel like is like kind of a branch off of that. So like we need to find out what the next step is. We can keep it going, create new forms of animation. You don't need to literally completely rip off South Park when do it. Like it could have just been an animation of Boogie and Keem. But Keemstar probably wouldn't have played it if it was just that, to be honest.
Chatted $27.02. Oh, boogie. Stick that Mountain Dew thing in me. With next PLS invite Jackson Clark. Just so could finish next time.
Ew.
Jared the Red super chatted $20. Emo Cat Girl. What's your thoughts on gargling blades?
Yeah, how would if Keemstar wanted
I feel like these are children that they just said that to.
you to wear
I don't think she heard that.
if Keemstar, my boss, wanted you to wear a blonde wig, would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a weird question. Why did he ask that?
You to wear a blonde wig, would you?
I don't think she heard that.
If Keemstar, my boss, wanted you to wear a blonde wig, would you?
Yeah.
Okay. He wanted to know, do I have to ask her that?
You have to, yep.
Yep.
He they want to know how you feel about gargling glades.
I'm not sure what that is.
Me either. I don't know either.
Yeah, you know what it is. Explain it to her, Boogie. Explain it to her. All right, guys, you need to be more specific, okay?
Okay, one more question. One more question. She has time for one more question, guys. She has to go. Her ride is here. Please, just give it over.
Hey, she's trying to get a job.
One more question.
Jeremy's Video Vault super chatted $20. Attention attendees. This is an automated message.
That counts.
I am required by my state of residence to announce that I am a registered sex offender at any public event.
Shut
I
up.
was previously arrested for collabing with Jared Fogle. Thanks.
Please shut up with the sex offender. That's why he came down to ask us to keep it down. He asked specifically if you guys would stop with the sex offender shit.
Yeah, no more sex.
Yeah, they're basically just doing impractical jokers on LolCow now. That is basically what it is, except everybody can hear what the impractical jokers are saying.
Except heaps more sex stuff.
Stop.
What?
But the real reason I thought this was funny is because they really couldn't get any interesting footage from this, it seems, and decided that Boogie needed to do something crazy.
TTS even live at the con.
Yes.
No one is reacting. LLLLLL.
Yeah, they're a bunch of socially
LolCow
words who
alert
don't.
super chatted $10. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks. Better run. Better
Oh my
run.
God, no,
Up
no, no,
one
no,
like
no,
the-
no. Okay, listen, Boogie. Boogie,
Yeah.
if you end this stream today with a finale, an exciting finale, I will justify you going to more gaming conventions because you'll be able to stream at them. This stream has been kind of mid, but if you end strong with a finale, a big finale, then I think I'll justify more of these.
What kind of like
What
big
do you got in
finale?
mind?
Well, something to do with the table. I don't know. There's got to be a finale.
Actually,
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. This kid's the fucking retard?
Chill out.
Girl finds it funny.
This looks like a scene from a movie, like where a guy's gone mad.
Yeah.
okay, so it's off limits. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my good
Okay, Boogie, stop. Oh my
Stop,
God, I'm
stop,
embarrassed.
stop.
I'm embarrassed. Boogie, stop.
If you refuse me, then you'll lose me.
Dude, stop. Stop. No.
It's the way that he's like a ghost and nobody's even acknowledging that it's happening.
I do.
SSJ Pharaoh 96 super chatted.
This little girl's just got the sixth sense. She's just like, she's the only one that acknowledged that Boogie was even doing anything.
$20. This dude said Yu-Gi-Oh was a card game for preds, children, and black people. As a half black man, give him hell for it, lol. Love you, Boogie.
Did you say that? Boogie, did you fucking say that about Yu-Gi-Oh?
I said back in the day that we had a joke. Magic the Gathering player said that Magic is only for kids, people of color, and pedophiles. So if you're a white guy at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, you're probably a pedo.
Jeez. That's what the fuck, dude?
I don't know. It's 2001, dude.
Honestly, that's not like a. Is that supposed to be like crazy racist? Being like, black people love Yu-Gi-Oh. I feel like that's kind of innocuous. People aren't going to give a shit about that.
I'm gone for 5 minutes.
Black people like Yu-Gi-Oh because of the pharaoh shit. They like that Egyptian culture. But we move on here. We'll take a peek in. Alex actually did just drop.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to H3 Jeopardy Night 4.
Oh, watching it on 20 times speed, apparently.
Let's introduce today's participants. We have Waddles Jr.
Yeah, we're going to watch just the first section, probably. What is that, like 20 minutes? So we're going to try and answer this alongside.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to H3 Jeopardy Night 4. Let's introduce today's participants.
Oh, I forgot to show the other thing. The reason I pulled for the thumbnail was he also, for some reason, decided to lay down on a table just in the middle of the convention hall, it feels like. But then he was also part of a panel, so that's good, I guess. Good for Boogie. He's going up in the world. He's part of this huge panel.
We have Waddles Jr.
Hey everybody, I'm Waddles Jr. I run the H3 lore site.
It's him! Oh my god, it's him!
Have Bill Lott.
What's up, guys? I'm Bill. I am a moderator of the unofficial Facebook page for H3 Peace and Love posting.
We have Usuru.
Hello. I am Uzu, Uzuverse, whatever you want to say. I'm Love's editor for the Young Fika channel.
I love that channel.
I'm basically Love's love, if that makes sense.
Of course, our 3-time champion, OWT Wales.
Hello, I'm OWT Wales.
Yeah, of course, no problem. If you ever need someone to fill in, just let me know. I'll always be willing to fail at H3 Jeopardy. You're about to see how bad I'll do right now.
Also known as Owen, but that's my name. I make memes. I win Jeopardy quite a few times. You may know me from that. And that's about it.
All right, let's check out today's categories. We have I Miss My Old Friend.
Come.
Teddy Fresh. Who Dat? The H3 Iceberg Explained. Let's Go to the Movies. And Gabe Time. So first on my list, we have Waddles Jr. So why don't you kick us off?
Great. Once again, okay. Let's do H3 Iceberg Explained for 600.
H3 Iceberg Explains 600.
No fair. This was written for him.
This large YouTuber is mad at Ethan for not giving him a Teddy Fresh hat.
Papa Gut.
Usu.
Papa Gut.
Correct.
Let's go.
You'll get it eventually, I think.
All right, Usu, the board is yours.
Oh, fuck. Let's go. Gabe Time for 200. We'll start off with a small
Gabe Time.
Gabe Type 200. Gabe's favorite food.
Fried chicken. Is that wrong? My guess is fried chicken.
Bill.
Lose
Fried
all my
chicken.
money.
Correct.
Let's go.
It was so obvious. It was too obvious.
See, that's how I'd play, though. I'd play loose and risky. I'd win a bunch of money, but I'd also lose a bunch of money just by guessing.
All right, Bill.
Let's go Gabe Time for 400.
All right, a Gabe Time 400. Gabe's favorite day.
Friday.
Wales.
What is Friday, baby?
Correct.
Friday, baby. Fuck.
All right.
Let's do Miss My Old Friend.
See, with all of these, it would really just be a question of the delay for for Discord, like who hears it first and is able to buzz in first.
Or 800.
Miss My Old Friend, 800. This is what Cam asks whenever the crew discusses ordering food on the show.
Can he eat? Is he allowed to eat? Is he allowed to eat any type of food?
Wales.
What is, can I have some?
Correct.
Let's do who dat for...
You get like half points for that. I'll take the fail if you want to. I wasn't clear enough.
600.
So the way who dat works, I'm going to show an image on the screen and the first person to buzz in gets the answer.
Okay.
Beautiful.
How much did you say?
600, please.
600.
Rich Lux. These guys. These guys.
Waddles.
You know why? Who is Rich Lux?
Correct.
Wow. You know, the pressure's getting to me here. All right.
He's got a lot to prove.
This is all we're just having fun here.
It's all good vibes.
Yeah.
Let's do who dat for 400.
Who dat? 400.
Swami.
Waddles.
Who is Swami?
Correct.
Swami from the H3 lore site specifically. That's the exact picture I used for him.
I think that's the only picture of him. That's the only one I've ever seen.
You know, it might be. Let's keep going up. Who dat for 200?
Who dat? 200.
Fuck. I would lose this one. Because I know it's the rectangular guy. Sean Stevens?
Wales.
I'm pretty sure his name is Sean Stevens.
That's right.
I would have had to delay for a second, but I did remember it.
Love that guy. Such good
I
music.
could literally only hear the song on my brain. I couldn't think of his name or anything. Just
Mr. Rectangle.
Would that have counted, Mr. Rectangle?
No.
I think it
But
should.
I'm
One
kind of a
point.
softy. You guys might have been able to convince me otherwise, but no.
Let's do the H3 Iceberg for 400.
Iceberg for 400. This old school YouTuber makes multiple YouTube accounts to advertise himself during live shows and to ask when he will be on the show.
I was first, obviously it's Shoe Nice.
Waddles.
Who is
Come on.
Shoe Nice?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's like he knows all of them, but he just can't, like, he's got to roll through his Rolodex because he's been doing too much for the site. He's like, okay, I know who it is, and Shoe Nice.
Again, you know, I know it, and then it's like it doesn't come to me.
Was that 600 or 400?
That was 400.
Yeah, it was 400. Let's do H3 Iceberg Explained for 800.
This doctor weighs in on medical situations during the show, particularly in the realm of food science. Waddles.
Who is Dr. Ids?
Correct.
My guess was going to be Dr. Ids, but I didn't want it to be like, because when we were going through the H3 Iceberg, I was mixing up Dr. Fidel with Ids, so I didn't want to get it wrong.
Couldn't remember his name.
Some crazy fast buzzer speed.
Yeah, I'm like spamming my.
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
I feel like it's pure luck, to be honest.
But then I'm not going to know it if I'm spamming it.
Yeah, you're so focused on the button click when you start to think about it. Gears aren't turning yet.
Well, the whole thing is you have to read it faster than Alex is reading it. So you're done, you're able to think of your answer, and then you hit the button immediately as he finishes speaking. It's all strategic.
I feel that.
I don't even have the latency excuse because
You try and account for the latency by finishing at the last word. So as he starts the last word, you press the buzzer because you know that it'll go through in time that you hearing it would have been in the past, and you buzzing would also be in the past for his I'm just telling you, man. It's all strategy.
Wales is here.
That's true.
Let's do H3.
Bill Lock, more like Bill Lock the fuck in.
Iceberg explained for 1,000.
Iceberg explained 1,000. This is what the acronym PNP stands for.
I actually don't know what this is. It's their last names, I would presume, because they're like they're a law firm.
Oh.
No buzzer.
Oh, we have OWT Wells.
Bro Googled it. Don't lie.
I know one of them is Panda, I think. Maybe? I know where I'm getting
Wales,
that
why
from.
did you buzz in?
I just felt like somebody. Oh, it's for 1,000. Oh, okay,
It's for 1,000.
Bad play.
PNP.
We're taking him down.
His name is David. His name is David.
It's not one of the P's.
David and David. That's what it is.
All right, the answer is Perlmutter and Porcellini.
I was never getting that.
No.
It's the world.
Guys, you gotta be careful.
I was never getting that.
The answer is Perlmutter and Porcellini.
I was never getting that.
No.
Deep cut.
The world.
Guys, you gotta-
I think that takes knowledge outside of the show and just knowing lore of the individual. It's like not knowing the H3 lore, but knowing about the lore of the individual topics discussed on H3. But same difference.
Be careful. You gotta be careful with this. That's why you don't spam.
So, does OWT guess now?
No,
I lose
that's
1,000.
that's Waddles now, and OWT loses 1,000. Waddles' the board's still yours.
Got it.
Hey.
I just want to say for that one, I would not have buzzed. I was just trying to actually think of what it would be. But for a question like that and 1,000, I would have just been like someone else.
Let's go
Unless I had $0 and then I would go negative 1,000 just for the hell of it.
to the movies for 400.
Just to win it all back. Sorry, what are we doing?
Let's go to the movies for 400.
Let's go to the movies for 400. Some birds aren't meant to be caged, that's all. Their feathers are too bright, their songs too sweet and wild, so you let them go. OWT Wales.
What is Shawshank Redemption?
Correct.
Oh, so they're
I
just
think I've seen that movie once.
regular movie?
And I was like 13.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
was gonna
I like
say
that. Cam the movie. I'd watch it. I'd watch it. Let's do Teddy Fresh for 400.
So the way Teddy Fresh works is I'm going to show you a few images of a certain drop. You have to tell me the name of the drop.
Ooh. Yeah,
So
that would be my
what number did you say?
Failure.
400.
400.
Too broke to be paying attention to the drops, gotta be honest.
Is it like the name of an artist?
The name of the artist or the drop. This
know.
is Gentle Thrills.
Oh.
Would have never
Does it
got
say that on one of the shirts?
No, it doesn't. I made sure it didn't say it.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard category.
Oh, do I get to pick again?
Yes.
Okay, let's do I Miss My Old Friend for 600.
I Miss My Old Friend for 600. Cam had this meme stolen when it went viral on Twitter in the midst of a streamer's drama. They even went as far as to remove Cam's watermark. OWT.
What is IDP 445 dressed up as Dr. Disrespect?
Yeah, I'll give it to you. It's EDP.
It's EDP, it's Eat That Pussy 445.
EDP, that's it.
Yeah.
Close.
That was
let's do-
600?
Oh yeah, 600.
600. Okay.
Let's do Cam.
I was doing good in the beginning, but now I'm
Cam for
falling
400.
behind.
Cam famously went head to head and won against this AI image software. OWT.
Dolly 2.
What is
I didn't buzz in.
ChatGPT?
The correct answer is. Wait, actually.
Someone else get to guess?
Yeah, someone else can get to guess. Bill.
Oh, what is Dolly?
Yes.
I was right. technically, isn't it Dolly 2?
I forgot the name of it.
I did buzz in.
Hi, Bill.
Actually, I did buzz
Let's
in.
go. I missed my old friend for 200.
For 200. These two meme artists post daily memes during the show and often get their memes featured live on air. Usu.
Is this a tall skeleton and I don't know who the other one would be.
OWT Wales and Tall
I
Skull.
guess, yeah, OWT Wales. Sorry, Wales. My bad.
Correct.
My bad.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
They literally just showed a Wales meme, like, I'm pretty sure on Friday's show. I'm pretty sure they showed a Wales meme, or on Wednesday or something.
Hurts to miss that one.
Had to take one of them from me. And I picked the one that would hurt the most.
That did hurt a lot. I needed those points.
Oh wait, I'm picking now, am I? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's go 200 H3 Iceberg.
H3 Iceberg 200. This Reddit user popularized swirls in chat.
Oh, it's the one. Oh, I forget what the name is, but it's like the bottom of the list, of the iceberg list.
Waddles.
Something Flamingo XR.
Usu, I'll give you the points if you can get it.
Flamingo R, isn't it?
Wales, I'll give you the points if you can get it.
Our Flamingo 666 or something like that.
It's voice Flamingo R.
Oh,
voice Flamingo. Yeah.
Voice. Man. Did we all lose points?
Yes.
Oh no.
Damn. That was only the 200, right?
Yeah, it was only 200.
Oh,
okay.
One second. Okay. I think that was Usu.
Oh yeah.
Sir, the
You
board
get
is
to pick
yours.
Wait, me? Is my go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go to the movies for 600.
Let's go to the movies for 600. Olivia almost cried when Ela said she did not like this movie. OWT.
What is Wicked?
Correct.
I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's good.
I hear good things.
See, I didn't know that one, but it would have taken me too long to. They would have gotten it before me.
But
I did know it, I swear.
Let's go to the movies for 200.
Let's go to the movies for 200.
Daily
Oh, that's our
double.
daily double. Wales, you currently have 1,400 points. How much would you like to wager?
I'm betting it all.
Oh my god, let's see what it is.
I need it.
AB's favorite
His favorite 5-movie saga is Twilight.
5-movie saga.
What is... Oh no.
Wait, if he gets it wrong, do we get to answer?
No, only Wales gets to answer. You have 5 seconds.
Okay. What is Rocky?
It is not Rocky. It is the Twilight Saga.
Oh my god. There's 5 of those? They only did like 3 on the show.
Yeah.
No, they did all of them. They all just blur together.
Yeah.
And the last one is technically 2 parts. They did the Harry Potter thing where they split it, so kind of there's only 4.
Well, that goes on my points. It's okay.
Well, no, there's 5 movies, 4 stories, 4 plots, or whatever.
The drama of it all.
Twilight.
Yeah.
Twilight.
Don't worry, we're still early on. There's still plenty of time to catch up.
You're right.
The board's still yours.
Let's do Camp of 1000.
Camp for 1000. This is where Cam worked before starting to work for H3. OWT.
What is Adult Swim?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Didn't he work for something else after Adult Swim before working for H3, or did he go straight from Adult Swim to H3?
Correct. I would have also accepted the lottery because I don't remember which.
I think he was working at the lottery. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think he was working at the lottery agency or whatever, the lottery building. Because he said he was still working there. Because I remember at one point he was talking about how he was still working there when he started doing stuff for the show. and then was able to quit and work on the podcast full time.
Which one was first?
I think it was Lottery and then Adult Swim.
Well, this is just me obviously speculating, but I don't know if did he ever have like a full-time position with Adult Swim, or was he a hired like someone who was who did work from the, like, you know, an editor or something that's on a different type of contract.
Okay.
So it was the last job. Let's do Who Dat for 1,000.
Who Dat one?
Honestly, I'd love a backstory for each crew member. Give them their full where they used to work, what they used to do, what their ambitions were as a child, and we'll see how, you know, how they never reached those goals ultimately, unless those goals were to work for the H3 podcast. Which would be kind of interesting.
1,000. OWT.
Wait, what the fuck? Is that not him? Who's James Charles?
It is, yeah. It does. It kind of doesn't look like him.
Why was
throwing me
that
off too?
Get him off my screen.
Someone photoshopped him to look strange.
Good job.
I mean, it's clearly not Jeffree Star though, because he has eyebrows.
Off too.
Good job.
Let's do 1,000. Let's go to the movies.
Let's go to the movies. 1,000. Zach loves this character. Ethan loves this movie. Bill.
Zach loves this character. Ethan loves this movie. Shrek.
Willy Wonka.
This is not Willy Wonka.
That's actually a very good answer, though. If you think about it, Ethan does like the original. Is the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or no? The original is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate, whatever. The original one, where Zach likes the character of Willy Wonka.
Waddles.
I don't remember Ethan loving it, but I guess I'll say Joker.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh.
Ethan loved it.
Those are the two answers, though. Like Willy Wonka or Joker.
Huh.
Yeah, I think he really enjoyed it.
The first one when it came out.
Yeah, the first one, not the second.
Gotcha. Then.
Yeah, I was thinking
All right.
he did not like Willy Wonka.
I
Actually,
was thinking that too.
Yeah.
But it worked out. Let's do Gabe time 600.
Gabe Time 600. Gabe's former drink of choice. OWT.
White Claws.
What is White Claw?
Correct.
I was pressing the button. So
Hello, Soul. Welcome.
You gotta get it.
Same.
I feel like Teddy Fresh might be the hardest one.
The Teddy Fresh one is the hardest one. That's why they did one and haven't gone back.
Rough.
But to be fair, you could just sit through it and not answer.
Let's do it for 200. Teddy Fresh.
Teddy Fresh 200.
Yeah.
OWT.
What is the Classics collection?
Correct.
Okay, I know that one. And they probably know other ones. Let's do Gabe Time for 800.
Gabe Time 800.
Gabe.
You can pay for Gabe to wish you happy
Obviously Cameo.
birthday on this website. OWT.
How do you do it?
Right? No.
I'm sorry.
He's got an auto clicker or something.
I don't. I'm just clicking
Right.
it. Jarrell tried to cheat doing that.
Four
We need an investigation.
Yeah, you can't see my other hand. I'm just like,
He's got two on the ground. He's using his feet.
yeah, I got feet pedals. What is Cameo?
Correct.
I'm also on there. Shout out. They let me on for some reason. I don't know why.
I'm gonna get one from you soon. I have a video where I'm gonna get your I'm gonna pay a cameo for you.
Oh, thank you. They're only $1. So
Hell yeah.
$1 for a cameo. That's a
Yeah, I probably could gotten you to do it for free.
And make some money.
But I want to do a whole.
Yeah,
cameo video.
honestly, I probably would have. Yeah. You need the branding in the corners, otherwise it's not special. Let's do Who Dat for 800.
Who dat 800?
IGGY. I almost said Nicholas Diorio. Nikocado avocado. It's Nicholas Diorio. Final answer.
OWT.
I didn't expect to get it. Who is Nikocado Avocado?
Correct.
Do you think that's his real name?
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Probably. It's probably his legal name.
Nikocado.
You know what?
Nicholas Perry.
On second thought, it is. It is legal. I know a lot of avocados.
Oh wow. Let's do Teddy Fresh for 600.
Teddy Fresh 600.
Hi, Maria. Welcome in.
Bill.
Thank you all the people that
Is
are
that the
here.
Marvel
on such
collab?
a simple
Correct.
stream.
Oh, it is. I was trying to figure out who was that in the middle one.
Yeah, those are some sneaky Marvel ones. I saw Iron Man on the right, but
Yeah, no one's ever heard of that guy. That's a deep
Right.
cut.
he was kind of hidden in the pants, though. You know, he was.
All right, Bill.
Let's go.
He should change it legally, honestly. If we're thinking about it, everyone knows him as Nikocado Avocado. He's already gone through like the different arcs of his weight loss journey and so on, so why not?
Ooh, I guess Teddy Fresh for 800.
You are Nikocado Avocado, Nicholas Perry. So often.
Teddy Fresh 800.
Shh.
Is that a bowling shirt in the middle?
All right, Bill.
Is it the Trixie Mattel collab?
It is. It actually says it right there in the middle too.
Oh,
does it? It's too small. I can't see
I mean,
that.
that was also.
Let's go to the
Trixie
movies.
Mattel's face, right?
Let's go to the movies. Closing
Finishing
it
out
out
the
with
category.
800. Love really enjoyed this movie featuring Jack Black and Jason Momoa.
The Minecraft movie. La 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 lava, chicken. Steve's lava chicken, yeah, it's tasty as hell. Ooh, mamacita, now you're ringing the bell. Tasty and juicy, now you're having a snack. Ooh, super spicy, it's a lava attack. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Waddles.
Oh, my third.
What? What is the Minecraft movie?
That's right.
We're going Gabe Time 1000.
Gabe Type 1000. During Gabe's latest birthday episode, they played this game.
Sorry? Or they didn't play Sorry and played Charades?
Waddles.
What is Charades?
Correct.
They should have played
All right,
Sorry.
and we're closing it out with Teddy Fresh for 1000.
Oh, what is his name?
Yeah, this one's gonna be hard. It's
What if
Alex
small
Pardee.
amount- Oh, Alex Pardee.
I know.
I
it's
knew
Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
Couldn't get the last name.
I probably would have given it to you if you guys got the first name.
Damn.
All right, that's the first round of Jeopardy, and we're gonna start double Jeopardy. But does anyone need to use the rest?
You do this all through PowerPoint? That's honestly very impressive. So I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want to go check it out, that's on Alex the Fiction's channel. H3 Jeopardy 4 featuring Waddles Jr., Love's editor Asuru, Bill Lott, and OWT Whale. Very good stuff. Now I have, honestly, not a whole lot left. A few things. This came across my feed and I was like, oh, I need to check this out. I do watch Matan Evan.
Hello, everybody, and welcome.
I find his, like, obviously he's playing a character, so everything he does is in jest. But he had on George Santos, which I did watch, which was very funny. George Santos kind of just tries to alpha the whole thing and take control of the show. It doesn't really work out. Now he's going to prison. You know, the classic story. He actually had on Dax Flame yesterday. I watched this one too. Dax is just really nervous because he doesn't feel like a good enough comedian to be on a podcast of this level. Truly a high level production. And Dax felt like he wasn't he just wasn't fit for it. But he is. But we're gonna watch the episode with Matt Gaetz. I don't know how he's getting these like, you know, like non-respected politicians. It's kind of interesting. I wonder how he's contacting them.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. For today's guest, we have Matt Gaetz. Welcome in.
Good to be here with you, Matan.
You can come sit in the middle now, please.
Thank you. Oh my. All right. Where do you pick these up in Hollywood?
For today's co-host, we have Mike. Please welcome.
He has to be paying them, right? Like, he has to be paying them a decent amount of money. Because how do you not just walk off after this point?
I mean, Mike.
How you doing, Mike?
Thanks for being here today.
Good to be with you. It's been a delightful ride out here.
Please, in case anybody doesn't know you, introduce yourself and a little bit about that.
I was in Congress for...
If I was him, I'd put my feet on like the bits of the chair right here on like the little bar going across, the little crossbar, and I would just start kicking my feet right next to his head, just for funsies.
8 years, and then Donald Trump nominated me to be the top cop in the world. That didn't work out so well, so now I make...
Who is who? Matt Gaetz or Matan? Matan's he's a businessman. He's big into business and businessman things. No, yeah, he's a comedian that he's from the... I guess maybe I'll just preface this a little bit for anyone who doesn't know. Matan Evan, or I think it's all on his channel.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to...
And then I'll bring up who Matt Gaetz is too. But Matan Evans started as like a political activist as a little kid, who was talking about the independence of Taiwan and stuff like that. He was talking, you know, interesting stuff to have, and he was going on InfoWars talking to Owen Schroyer, which is pretty amazing. But the one thing people really know him from is this.
Thank you so...
It is at the 2022 Game Awards, Matan Evan walked up on stage while I forget what company was accepting an award.
So much. Thank you.
Hey, Matan. You know, real quick, I want to thank everybody and say that I think I want to nominate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi, Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody.
So yeah, he just walked up on stage with them and they allowed it. Great stuff. But yeah, now he just runs a podcast in this illustrious studio, and he has on other comedians and other people. And Matt Gaetz, for anyone who doesn't know, is a member of the Republican Party and a self-described libertarian populist. Gaetz is widely regarded as a proponent of far-right politics. He's a lawyer and former United States representative, but he's seen as a bad guy because some stuff he believes, some stuff he's done, and these fucking tattoos he has. Bro's got an iron cross with 4 other iron crosses inside of it. Pretty insane. And then he also has this, which was like a Call of the Crusaders or some shit. So definitely a bit of an extremist. I like this new idea of Christian extremism. Like, there's a lot of a religious extremism, and I feel like we don't talk about the Christian extremism enough because, like, I don't know, the Christians kind of won, like, on some level. They just killed all the people they wanted to kill, and then we're like, we can cool off now. Like, I know that it's not that simple, and obviously there was a lot of back and forth, but we don't talk about, like, the extremism that is propagated within Christianity enough. But yeah, we'll move on from that and into his conversation with Matan. Matan finally confronts Matt Gaetz about his allegations.
A television show in San Diego, California, called the Matt Gates Show.
And you were in Congress in Florida?
I represented Florida, but I was in Washington, D.C., but the folks who were my bosses were the good people of Florida.
Okay, and by the way, we're gonna cut this out, but at some point, we have a Michelin star chef in the kitchen. He will bring you a dinner, and then you can eat it if you would like.
You have a Michelin? Where do you find those?
I had to hire him. This guy down here, he's not here.
Oh, dude, that's so weird how the eyes move. How do you? Yeah, you're an odd bird. What's with the co-host?
That's Mike.
Why is Mike? Does Mike have COVID?
No, that's just religious reasons.
Is Mike a Muslim?
He might be. He hasn't said anything when I asked him.
Fine. You know what? We accept all kinds. He's not going to do anything weird, is he?
I don't
the same
believe so.
sunglasses.
Same ones?
Yeah.
I don't think he'll try and do anything weird.
Okay.
He'll just be there.
Okay.
If I want to get in the government, do I have to support Israel?
You know, the Israel lobby has an incredible power over the decisions that government makes. And what we've seen is on the left or on the right, if you question the policies of the Israeli government, legitimately.
You know, Matan always says he's 17, and I always question it, but looking at this hand, this is a child's hand.
Question the policies of the Israeli government, legitimately. People will accuse you of anti-Semitism. And that is weird and wrong and kind of unlike anything else we see anywhere else. Now, there are legitimate expressions, of concern regarding the anti-Semitism that we see on college campuses. But I got to tell you, no one's asked me the question that directly. And the truth is,
the one thing I find interesting is when people bring up like bigotry on college campuses, like, oh, that's where it all propagates, is within the college campus. You'll see racism and see different, but in the real world, it doesn't happen. If it's not being stopped in colleges, why would it all of a sudden just dissipate once they reach like, the workforce or whatever? That just
if you oppose the U.S.-Israel relationship, you face tremendous headwinds to get into government, not just appointed government, but elected government as well. Dude, it's moving. And
what is
the thing? It's got eyeballs that raise their eyelids.
Who would you rather be president? The Eye of Cthulhu or Skeletron Prime?
I'd say that's a hard one. The Eye of Cthulhu or Skeletron Prime? I'm gonna have to think about this one.
Neither.
Why not?
I love the current one we have, man.
Oh, I know, but once his 4 years are gone, I'm a big fan of the Great White Hope as well.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I was like, what is it? I was like, that sounds so familiar. It's from Terraria. The Eye of Cthulhu or a Terraria character? Great question.
After that, I'm for JD Vance.
But in this circumstance, the Eye of Cthulhu or Skeletron Prime, JD Vance, let's say his ran his 8 years.
All right, after JD Vance, I'm going like Marco Rubio.
Marco's ran his 8 years now too.
Then after that, I'm going Ron DeSantis.
Now he's ran his 8 years.
Me.
8 years.
You.
8 years.
I think by then they're not going to be around, Matan.
Those are
by the way, at the end of your 8 years,
is a robot.
at the end of your 8 years, I'm not sure there even will be elections anymore.
Why? What do you think will happen?
I think you have tendencies that favor the concentration of power.
What do you mean?
Well, you understand the centers of power, and that's why you challenge them, which is kind of why I'm a fan of yours, is because you understand that the way you get attention on stuff is to get eyeballs on it. And so you develop these eccentric ways to get eyeballs on information, and then you inject that information into a pretty...
Here's the question I have. Do you think Mike started off with a very cold back laying on the floor, and then progressively through this podcast, do you think his back got very sweaty?
Broad bloodstream.
So you're saying once I had control, I wouldn't give it up?
I mean,
would
would you?
abolish
Why
that
don't you tell
amendment.
me? Let me ask you that question. Would you, if you were president, would you end elections?
I would try for sure. I would make a pass at it. I don't know if I
I
could go
got
through
that
with
sense.
it. If somebody opposed me, I would try and put them in jail.
Well, we've already had that in this country. That's kind of very 2004. I would honestly, that's kind of sad of you. I would have thought you would have been more innovative than that.
No.
Like public executions.
Oh, well, I mean,
or
that's part of the
torture.
reputation. No,
You know,
no.
in El Salvador, they're building special prisons for the corrupt politicians. Can you only imagine how much fun it would be for you to do your show out of the special gulag for the deep state?
That could be good, but the problem is once they get rid of me, once they flip me once they get somebody else in power, then whatever I set up, I'm going to be put in. So if I do public executions, that's where I'm headed.
You know what? That's probably what built strong institutions over time. The fear that people would get power, surrender it, and then not want to be exposed to the most extreme circumstances.
That's true. But then again, you could make the point that if you publicly execute everybody, then there's nobody to then oppose you or ever flip you to the other side to get executed.
But we tried that shit in our interventionist wars of the early 2000s. George Bush thought that he could execute his way to control of the Middle East. And the truth of the matter is, oh, dude, what the fuck? Is this really a dude? Is this really, oh, that's actually not a mannequin.
You thought what was under there was not real?
I thought that was a mannequin. Oh no, that's actually a person.
The Patreon is here. The Patreon is here. It's finally time for me to make some real money. For just $5 a month, you'll be getting a new exclusive podcast every week. And guys, I'm sorry to tell you, but I've been really struggling recently. My sponsors aren't getting back to me. They haven't sent me the money, and I ran a couple of them
This is Matan's pee-pee dance.
out of business. So I really need your guys' help right now. Besides the new podcast I'll be posting every week exclusively on Patreon, you'll get other benefits like exclusive live streams, behind-the-scenes content, some clips of this podcast before it comes out, and a new video of me trying in and out every month. You'll also benefit because I'll be turning you into hustlers. That's a millionaire. That's a millionaire. That's a millionaire. Everybody's gonna be a millionaire. Hey! When I get 10,000 subscribers on Patreon, I'm gonna give away these pair of glasses. Wow! So cool! Money! 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 All my money! Go to patreon.com/MatonEvan. patreon.com/MatanEven. For just $5 a month, you can get all those benefits.
For anyone who might be wondering, this is his manager, Viral Flooring. He'll do your floors.
And become money. Become $1 million. Money, 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 money.
So I think that I think that when you try to persuade people by the sword exclusively, it gets pretty problematic down the road. What do they have to pay you to do this, bro?
Who are you talking to? Are you going schizophrenic?
Well, I've been accused of worse, but
Can I ask a question about that?
Go at it, man.
I'll wait till later.
Okay.
If Trump is Homelander, are you the Deep?
If he's Homelander?
Do you get the reference?
I don't.
It's from the Amazon show The Boys.
Bro, I don't watch a lot of television. I gotta be honest with you.
So Homelander in this situation would be Trump. He's the one in complete power. And then you would be the Deep, the very cool guy, side character, very strong, and on his side as well.
I could get down with that reference. I talked to DJT earlier today. He's doing great, crushing it for the country. And it kind of feels like we won, and we're actually getting the benefits of that, which for a lot of my life and yours, we haven't, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like even when we feel the sugar high of thinking we won an election or got a little power, it never got converted to our purposes. And, you know, on my show...
He is a true politician, the way he's trying to redirect every question into a talking point.
You talked about how there's a lot of people who feel pretty down and out as a result of the way culture has gone.
Matan was on, wait, what?
Feel pretty down and out. Talked about how it got converted to our purposes. And, you know, on my show, you talked about
Matan was on his podcast?
How there's a lot of people who...
So he knew what he was in for. Now I'm even more confused as to why because George Santos had Matan on, but had Matan on after he went on his show. So George Santos was on this podcast first. Matt Gaetz already, maybe he was like, I'm a man of my word. I said, if you come on mine, I'll do yours. But I'm gonna check it out right now.
Feel pretty down and out as a result of the way culture has gone and job opportunities have gone and college admissions have gone. And I think Trump gives us a sense that we're going back to a meritocracy. We're going to be a productive country and we're going to crush it, even for this dude.
Who?
You know.
It was the first.
I will say I give Matan a pass for the 30-minute, like 40-minute episodes because it's him kind of just fucking with people. Like, it shouldn't be more than 45 minutes, maybe an hour if we're pushing it. But he had Matan on his show and somehow only ran 37 minutes.
It was the first game of the season. It was the Clippers versus the Lakers. So I put the shirt that the Hong Kong people had given me, I put it behind the Clippers shirt. I was holding the Clippers shirt when the guy put the camera on me. I dropped it for the Hong Kong shirt.
Victim selection is an interesting part of your game. Did you ever watch as someone tried to convert their fake ticket into?
Honestly, Matt Gaetz would do a really good job about trying to be anonymous after murdering somebody. Like after assassinating some like political official, he really can just throw on a hat and look like a completely different person. Amazing stuff.
Is this the way you show prep, homie? Because it's like
writing the notes?
Well, yeah, because it's very un-Zoomer of you. And like you're kind of a Zoomer king. And the notion that the way you show prep is hand to paper pad, it's kind of retro.
Oh, I'm printing this out.
No, you're not. You're actually conducting a show off of the written word, which is a throwback.
You want to hear another one?
Let it roll.
Would you say this podcast is at least the second time you've met with a 17-year-old?
Well, probably since I've been 17. Look, man, I don't...
Or 35. Pound it on that.
No, that's not my scene. Listen, here's what you got to know. When you accumulate a little bit of power and you use it to challenge other power centers, they fuck with you. They do everything they can to delegitimize you and discredit you, and I've endured that. But here's the thing. No one's ever made that allegation against me in a court of law. And you know why?
I didn't make that. I didn't make any. I'm just asking a question.
We're just chilling on a podcast.
I don't want to get sued.
Yeah, but you know what? If anybody did make that allegation in a court of law, I would have subpoena power. I could cross-examine witnesses, and it would.
The House Ethics Committee on Monday released its long-awaited report on former Rep. Matt Gaetz after looking into sexual misconduct allegations against him. The committee found there was substantial evidence Gaetz violated House rules, state and federal laws, and other standards of conduct prohibiting prostitution, statutory rape, illicit drug use, acceptance of impermissible gifts, the provision of special favors and privileges, and obstruction of Congress. Among other accusations, the committee found Gaetz engaged in sexual activity with a 17-year-old girl in 2017 and used or possessed illegal drugs on multiple occasions from 2017 to 2019, including ecstasy and cocaine. He was just having a little fun, bro. He was just partying. Not the 17-year-old part. That is not a little fun and partying. That is bad. But the ecstasy and cocaine, can't hate on him for that part. Gaetz has consistently denied any wrongdoing, including in a statement on social media last week. I never had sexual contact with someone under 18. Any claim that I would be destroyed in court, which is why no such claim was ever made in court. He wrote in the post. My 30s were an era of working hard and playing hard too. It's embarrassing, though not criminal, that I probably partied, womanized, drank, and smoked more than I should have earlier in life. He continued, the panel opened an investigation into Gaetz in 2021 after a flurry of allegations against the then congressman, including illegal drug use and sexual misconduct. It released a report against the objection of some of the panel's members and its chairman, Rep. Michael Guest, representative of Mississippi, who said the committee had no jurisdiction over former members of Congress. But yeah, so it did say, I mean, among other accusations, it is an accusation, but, and just because it, I mean, don't be like, just stop it. I never did it. Don't be like, and you couldn't even try me for it if you wanted to. If you think it's there, then take it to court. It'll never go through. It's like, I don't know if that's your best argument against having not committed statutory rape, but okay.
Would be exposed for the fraud that it was.
Oh, I was just asking, is there a legal case going on or some
Matan is funny, but I will say his character is meant to be he plays the conservative. That's his whole thing. Is his character is meant to be like the bad side of conservatism. He's very racist and homophobic, and he's just phobic. But not like in a very serious way. The stuff he'll say is he'll just be like, what do you think about Indians? And then the person will be like, what do you think about Indians? And he'll just go, blah, oh. Or they'll be like, are you Jewish? Because he's clearly supposed to be doing like an Israeli accent, and his name is Matan Evan. And he'll go, oh no, Jews, oh no. So he does stuff like that, but it's clearly him making like a joke at the expense of like conservatism, rather than it being a serious like point at any minority group. So I would say I like Matan, because his edginess is more thought out, at least.
accusation here?
No, listen, man, the House Ethics Committee didn't like the fact that I was trying to change Congress. I was trying to get stock trading out of Congress. I fired the House Speaker, which is
some might have said, I heard that you did that because he wouldn't shut down that whole case.
Listen, man, I'd been investigated by the Justice Department, the FBI. I'd been investigated by everybody on the planet Earth, and no one could bring a case against me. And so they didn't like my politics. They didn't like the fact that at times...
Wasn't he also a Republican?
Sure, but by the way, that is how you know I was actually real when I served in Congress, because I didn't just call out the other side, I called out my own side. And there's plenty of corruption on both sides.
That's what happened. You said, even if you're a Republican, if you don't take down that thing that they said about me, I'm going to get rid of you.
No, that's not what I said. What I said is, if you don't stop trading stocks, if you don't stop spending our country into debt, if you don't stop with the endless surrender and failure theater that we had seen in Washington, then I'm going to try to find a different way to do things in this town. And so because I did that, and look, you know why? I'm the only motherfucker up there who didn't take the lobbyist money and the PAC money. Every other Republican up there took money from the lobbyists and took money from the political action committees. And I didn't, and they did, and I was a threat to that system, and so they had to get rid of me.
So that's why they said that happened? That whole thing?
Absolutely.
Well, let's fist bump on that, and then you did it.
I did not do it, but...
Well, you just fist bumped on that.
Well, I fist bumped on the fact that I was falsely accused, Matan.
Of what? I don't know if you were accused of anything. I was just asking a random question.
Sounds random. I like the show prep.
Yes. I was just doing some research. How much do corporations typically pay congressmen to pass laws that they like?
I would say to get your bill before a committee, it's typically about $100,000.
$100,000.
To get it to the floor is $750,000. And to really have the presiding officers lower their shoulder and get it through, $5 million and up.
But who do you donate the money to?
The political. So it's knowing where to donate the money to is actually something you pay people to teach you. But for any particular piece of legislation, there is a reference path. You're going to go to the Armed Services Committee on military things, the Judiciary Committee on legal things, the Environmental Committee on environmental things. So
he's teaching us how to buy policy. I mean, at least he's not being secretive about it.
You got to pay off those people along the way. And then if you really want the job done, rather than just failure theater, you have to pay off the House Speaker, the Majority Leader.
Wouldn't some people get suspicious because you're paying different parties?
No, but it's legal. It's actually, oh, by the way, no one even questions that because everybody does it. And that was my main criticism is...
That's why they brought up that whole thing.
I actually thought it would fucking matter if the Republicans or the Democrats won the election, because I thought the policies would be different. What I learned over time is that both sides at the highest levels are working for the same special interests that are paying to get their tax exemptions, their particular business model embraced by an element of government.
Hey guys, sorry for the interruption. I have to let you know that today's episode is sponsored by Ground News. For example, I was using Ground News recently to research about that astronaut in Greenland who was fired after their email got leaked criticizing JD Vance. Ground News built the only app on the App Store where you can see important articles like this, and it will tell you the political spectrum, so you know what you're reading and you know what the biases are. For example, Bob likes to say good things about himself, but they're not always true. They'll even tell you each reporting source is bias, credibility, and corporate influences, something that are not a part of other news feeds like Bob's because he's in 4th grade and he doesn't know how to spell. Their coverage details show how many reporting sources Ground News has analyzed for each story. Ground News is completely independent and funded by readers like us, so I was able to get you guys 40% off the same unlimited access Vantage plan that I've been using. Just go to ground.news/Maton, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description to subscribe for about $5 a month. If you care about calling out power and not getting played by the media, this app should already be on your phone. Thank you to Ground News for sponsoring today's episode. Do you have your own wing girl like Ghislaine Maxwell?
My wing girl's my wife, Ginger. You met her as we rolled in.
No, I'm talking...
I don't think you understand what that means. Because kind of just saying that almost implicates your wife. It doesn't mean that you're all clear.
About for like a couple of years back.
No.
She was the one Venmoing the girls.
Well, I don't know anything about that. What I know is...
No, nothing.
Nothing about that.
Oh, nothing.
My scene is as a happily married guy. And what I tell you as an unmarried guy is marriage is tremendous. And a lot of young men your age need to know it. When you marry someone, you level up in life. You break through an element of happiness and existence that is pretty spectacular. So I recommend it highly.
That's a good way to get off of that question. So, but you didn't? Because now I know you're married, but how long have you been married for?
I've been married going on 4 years, man.
Oh, I'm talking like 10 years back.
Well, listen, I lived the full arc of life as a single man. I make no apologies for it.
I don't blame you.
When I was a single guy, I did everything I could to be a kind, generous, gentle person to everyone I spent time with. And you know what, man?
Mike trying to fix the mic for him. It's because he's Mike. He's in charge of the mic.
You know what? You know who you can't interview on this podcast?
Who's that?
Anybody who's ever talking shit about me in public. Anybody who's ever fucking dated me will not come on your show and talk shit about me.
Why is that?
I was nice to all of them. You know what I was accused of? Spending money on chicks I was dating, which I actually think doesn't make me a bad guy. I think that made me a good guy.
Oh, I never said it made you a bad guy. I was just asking.
There are other people who do. There are other people who do.
Yeah, I was just.
But by the way, you take the derogatory reference.
Did you not notice him on the floor? He's been on the floor since the very beginning.
When you want to bring up a Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh, I was just asking if you had somebody dealing with it.
Yeah, I never met that person. I don't know anything about that model. You know what the model I know is? When you and all young men out there should see this. When you date someone as a man, buy them dinner. Open the door to their car. Open the door.
Pay them for sex.
No, listen, man. Not the game that was my game. That's some people's game.
I never said there was
mine.
anything bad about it if you did it, which you might have.
No, I definitely didn't. And by the way, if I had, Montan, listen, I was the biggest thorn in the side to the Biden administration. I fucked with these guys every day. I fucked with these guys every day. If I had done what you just said, they would have had me under the jail. They would have absolutely crucified me.
I just like that. It always feels like projection when Republicans say that, because what you're saying is well, there's not enough factual evidence for me to be arrested, but if it did happen, they would have arrested me anyways. And it's like that's not how that works. If you can't be legally tried for it, then yeah, people are just going to talk about it as an allegation, because that's all it was able to be, was an allegation.
What is going on back here?
I don't know. I think you're starting to see things. First it started with that thing under your table, and now something's going on back here.
Man, I don't know what kind of weird cult following you generate here, but it's got some pretty interesting characters to it.
It's a fan of mine.
Yeah, you got a lot of them.
Yeah. What do Charlie Sheen and Magic Johnson have in common?
Well, they probably both fucked people with AIDS.
HIV.
Yeah, I mean,
They both have
well,
AIDS.
I don't know that they do, and I don't know that Charlie Sheen does.
He does.
I'm pretty sure they both have like actual. Or Charlie Sheen might have HIV, but Magic Johnson has AIDS.
Does
He has HIV.
It's tragic. I pray for him.
Yeah, they both have AIDS.
Well, Magic Johnson beat AIDS. By the way,
That's not how that works. Well, I think the way it works is he has AIDS, but it's like dormant in his body where like if they test him now, he doesn't actually get like it doesn't show up that he has AIDS. But I'm pretty sure you just get treated for it the rest of your life. There's a whole South Park episode about it.
Did Magic Johnson ever really have AIDS? I don't know.
Well, I know he has HIV. I don't know if he got to that next level gay.
I don't think that your gayness is what takes HIV to AIDS.
Well,
I
that's
think it's
how
the progression of
no,
the
yeah.
disease.
It's
and
like,
do you think Magic Johnson was gay?
I
thought he was just tagging a lot of tail, but like not gay stuff.
Well, then how could he have HIV?
Well, because actually people can get HIV through non-gay sex.
That's not true.
Really? Okay. Well.
One sec.
We'll see how it goes.
You can only get HIV if you're gay, and to get AIDS, it's like a video game. You have to keep trying it. You have to keep going up the levels, and then once you hit level 2, then you get AIDS.
You can only get HIV if you're gay, and the more gay you are, the more HIV you get, and until you get AIDS. You know, it's progressive thought if you really think about it.
I think that would defy science and logic and about like 40 years of longitudinal data.
I have somebody conducting research on my behalf. This is the stats he brought me. If I'm wrong, that's fine, but this is what I've heard.
Very, very clever caveat, Matan.
Yes. I would like to buy one of your eyes. How much will I have to pay you for one of your eyes?
They're not for sale for any amount. I use them like daily. I use them all the time. I can't
Just
sell 'em.
one of them.
No, but I need them both because my wife is hot, so I want to see her with both of them.
Yeah, but you could still see her like this.
I don't want to though, and I just can't. Like I already have some money, so I don't really need the resources.
I had a question about that. Your father sold his company for about $100 million. Can he please give me some money?
I don't think you need any based on what I've seen. I mean,
I'm struggling.
The way that Matan asks questions are amazing. That was a great one.
I had a question about that. Your father sold his company for about $100 million. Can he please give me some money?
I don't think you need any based on what I've seen. I mean,
I'm struggling a little bit.
Tell me about that. What are your struggles?
I don't have $100 million.
That's your struggle?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've got a sweet place.
That is one relatable struggle. I think most of us don't have $100 million. You know, Matan's like me. I
In
can
West
relate to that.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
You've got a highly successful YouTube channel. You've turned some very charismatic moments into a characterized brand. I think you're doing
No,
great.
I'm not a character or nothing.
I said it was a
straight as
characterized
an arrow, not gay or nothing.
Well, we wish the best for you in that regard.
Is it a coincidence that you look exactly like Handsome Jack?
Who's Handsome Jack?
I've
always been told I look like Leonardo DiCaprio if he was having an allergic reaction to shellfish.
That's also. Can you take off your hat and your glasses
yeah,
for a
man,
second
yeah,
so I
no
can
problem.
see?
Yeah, you got it. Can you see it?
He
Like
does
a
look
puffy
like-
Matt Damon.
He does look like fucking Handsome Jack from Borderline.
You know?
He looks like a puffy Handsome Jack.
You look like those ones too, but also Handsome Jack.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. You don't know who that is?
I don't.
I'm sure you'll get the reference. You're kind of like him too. Well, you'll get the reference eventually.
I have a feeling it's not a overly favorable one.
It's not horrible. I mean, people
It's calling
thought
you
he was a pretty
handsome.
good villain. Should a crazy animal missing its frontal lobe be allowed to vote?
No.
Then why do we keep allowing women to vote?
Well, the Constitution demands it.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. Is it's like He really does come in with the like craziest bigoted questions. But when doing it with that like fake accent while having this fake terrorist and Mike underneath the seat, it's hard to take any of it seriously, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but women to vote. Until Loeb be allowed to vote?
No.
Then why do we keep allowing women to vote?
Well, the Constitution demands it.
Yeah, but they're fucking with the Constitution anyways, and that wasn't part of the OG version.
Do you think women have great reverence for the Constitution?
No. I don't think they have
What's your basis for that view?
I don't think they have great reverence for 2 plus 4.
And why is that?
They might give you the answer and they might tell you 5. Knowing the answer is 6, but just to say 5 to get you, to make a problem.
No, I appreciate that dynamic.
You almost said you agree.
I said I appreciate the dynamic.
You're putting your hat back on because you don't even want to be seen talking to a guy saying something like that, or do you agree with me?
Well, look, here's what I know. If you look at the actual data about women and voting, we win married women overwhelmingly. Single women, not so much on the right. And so you kind of wonder, what is it about marriage that changes your life? Well, you have a different perspective on the future. You have a different perspective on asset accumulation, family. And there are a lot of single women out there who are not receptive to the Republican message. I wish that weren't true. I wish that they were. But after they get married, they find our argument a lot more compelling. So maybe just more women ought to get married.
Yeah, but then again, once they get married, assuming that they're getting married, I guess in my ideal world, they're getting married to a man, otherwise it's outlawed. Then anyways, the man is gonna vote Republican.
No, it's not outlawed.
I'm
It's
saying in
actually
my
allowed.
ideal world.
But if they marry women, it's allowed.
No, it is now.
Right, you wouldn't allow that?
Going back to me being president, no, I wouldn't. But I'm not homophobic.
Why? Why do you care?
Just for fun, just the outrage.
That seems unnecessarily cruel.
Yeah, but cruel to people that I don't. It's not. It's technically cruel, but it's more like winning a game.
But what's the purpose of winning the game if the method of achievement is cruelty?
Well, no. That's the point of me winning the game.
Is cruelty?
In this regard, yeah.
No, you don't get it. The goal is the cruelty. That isn't just like something that happens because of my path towards the goal. I want the cruelty.
Well, that sounds like a very unpleasant game, and I probably wouldn't play it.
Well,
Speaking of unpleasant games.
What happened?
Well, your homie down here.
Who?
I mean, I don't know, man. You got a weird setup.
How does it feel to be in the top 1% of creators on Cameo alongside EDP445 and LeVar Ball?
I love Cameo.
Yes.
I think Cameo.
He loves EDP445.
Cameo is awesome. I am mostly in service of like dude group chats, fantasy football and baseball leagues, and bachelor party trips. I give a lot of messages.
Imagine, oh my god, just imagine the type of person you'd have to be to get a cameo like from Matt Gaetz. Like your friend sends you a video like, hey bro, check out this video someone sent me. And it's Matt Gaetz being like, hey bro, what's up? Great job on getting the promotion. Like genuinely. I wouldn't want that video from like my favorite celebrity, let alone a politician that I somewhat agree with.
Encouragement to them.
Now, do you just take any cameos or?
No. I filter them pretty. I filter them pretty good. It's got here's my.
You have
Ghislaine
Ghislaine telling which ones to do and not to do.
I've never met that person, and I reject that model thoroughly.
Yes.
But on Cameo, I look at whether or not it is lighthearted and for joy, or whether it is meant for meanness and cruelty. And if it is meant for meanness, I do not do it.
What would be an example of that?
Well, some people want me to just like talk bad about other people that they know in their life, and there's not a good-natured ribbing to it. It's just.
I wonder how much I'd have to pay him to be like, I hope you die to someone in my life.
Negative.
I bet he has a dollar amount.
So if somebody sent you a cameo asking to say something really nasty about their father, you wouldn't do it?
No, if they wanted like me to give a good-natured roast of their father, I probably would. But if they just had daddy issues, that probably.
But
wouldn't
how
be
can
my
you
scene.
tell it unless you know the person personally, which
I
But what if the dad was a big fan of yours and also a deadbeat who never talked to their son and was like a piece of shit or something? Then you could set the dad straight. See, man, it's all about the circumstances. Don't speak in absolutes. But wait, that was an absolute.
I read the prompt and I make an assessment based on the prompt.
By the way, co-host Mike, can you please go? I think the Michelin star sent me a text message. His food is ready for Matt.
Yeah, I see the oven and nothing's on, Matan. So
He's cooking in there. You don't see that Japanese guy cooking in there?
I did not see a Japanese guy. I did see a homeless guy outside
Homeless
doing
guy?
some drugs, and I
That's
saw.
not surprising.
No, and I saw some influencers in the wild outside your house, like taking pictures and doing
Of
weird
this
things.
place?
Not of your place, but just generally, like on my way here in West Hollywood.
It is West Hollywood, so it's not super surprising. I think I said this on your show, but down the street to the right and then a little bit backwards, there will just be gay dancers out in public.
What purpose is that serving? Are they just
evil? It's asking why somebody is evil. It's just the way they are.
Well, I don't think being gay. Do you think being gay is evil?
Anyways,
I don't. I mean, I just.
Oh,
let
I
them do their
don't.
thing.
No, I didn't. No, I don't. Anyway.
Well, you seem to suggest that. Is it the dancing that's evil?
Well,
What's
the
evil?
public stuff, it's a little weird because I mean,
No, I
even
agree.
me, I'm 17. 17.
What?
Anyways, it's a little bit weird because I have to pass them. I get uncomfortable.
Okay, that's fair. I probably get uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
I frankly got uncomfortable around the influencers and the drug addicts too.
Did you say hi to them?
No, I did not.
You should have joined their
I was
their
late.
video.
I was like 3 minutes late to get here.
That's true, but I wouldn't have minded. That would have been a funny TikTok to see Matt Gaetz with.
See,
three-
we talked about this. I can't be on TikTok. You and I have a different perspective on this. You're a China critic. You don't like the
Yeah, I hate
centralization
'em.
of power. You have spoken out for
well,
people oppressed
what if they were
in
filming
China.
for Instagram?
I mean, you know what? I've stopped signing in Instagram because the only thing
Would you yield for the Zuckerborg?
I ever see on the algorithm is like women in bikinis. So there must be something wrong with it. And so like 5 years ago, I got off of Instagram.
I think the recommended is based on what you watch, but I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I think it must have been something wrong. I think that it was just showing me these women in bikinis all the time. So I stopped looking at it. What do we got here from your co-host?
Michelin star.
Like, okay, just move on.
Oh, what's this?
Michelin star seafood from the Japanese guy.
Yeah. What kind of fish is this?
Sushi.
It appears to be. Is this a mullet?
He brought you some utensils too, please, if you want to eat it.
Oh, I ate on the way here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm good.
Have a bite.
No.
Why is that?
Well, it doesn't look very good, and I'm full. And
He's a Michelin star.
I don't. I don't
Just
know.
one, though.
First of all, there's no Japanese guy back there. There's just a few of your like teenage buddies. Second, that looks like a raw piece of low-grade fish.
For anybody
And third, I
watching, there's
already
a
ate.
Japanese guy on one of those hibachi
Why don't you
grills.
bring him out? Bring him out.
No, he doesn't want to be on camera.
Oh, okay. It's an imaginary. Do you have imaginary friends other than the Japanese?
You're
chef,
the
or
one
is he the
talking to
only one?
somebody on the floor, which
Well,
is a bit
because
weird.
he's there, which is.
I don't see
weird.
nothing.
Well, I think you should check that out. Maybe your co-host does. Do you want some? You can have some.
I think he's gesturing it being for you.
He probably is, but I'm gonna take a respectful pass on
A
that.
respectful
That's all.
pass on that?
Yeah.
Who would be on your Mount Rushmore of presidents?
Andrew Jackson.
Triple H.
Ah, yes.
I would have probably Ronald Reagan on the list. I would have Grover Cleveland, and I would have
The Great White Hope.
Donald Trump.
Yes.
And JD Vance coming up.
I do. Mine would be William Taft, and he would take up the whole mountainside.
Deck.
He's the one besides Donald that you want to.
Totally.
He's the next one.
Yeah, how could you not?
I mean, I don't actually know that much about him, but I think I would support him based off what I've seen.
I think you would too.
How can we help America restore its golden age before the 1860s?
I see what you
Honestly, Matt Gaetz looks like JD Vance put through a handsome filter.
did there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very clever. I don't know that before the 1860s is what we would consider America's golden age.
That was the time.
Yeah, no, I think you're just trying to be provocative because you're referencing a time before the Civil War when slavery was rolling on. What I would say is
No,
our
I'm
golden
not.
age is
The war
yeah,
fucked
no,
up the economy.
you're so clever, Baton.
Many people died.
I would say that the golden age is upon us, and Donald Trump is going to have the right economic policy and the right immigration policy and the right.
Shoot down the 13th Amendment.
I don't even think that's how you deal with amendments. Is shooting them? Is that?
With a sniper.
Have you ever shot a gun? Yeah, you got some gnats in here. You ever shot a gun, Matan? You don't strike me as a kind of guy who shot a lot of guns.
I got him. He's right there. Do you want me to put it on your fish?
No, it's like he's not alone. There's plenty of those homies rolling around.
I can make you. I can have the Michelin star guy make a.
That's another one.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Let's move on. Is it possible RFK Jr. was the one who killed JFK?
It is not. He would have been considerably too young at the time.
Why is that?
We have learned
I don't know if that's true.
a lot about that over the last few days, about who killed JFK. We've learned
Well, it was
that
RFK, I think.
You are wrong. The CIA and FBI concealed substantial amount of information regarding foreign interests.
Jew. I knew it was them the whole time.
That was good. That's a good play on words.
I'm not making a joke. I knew it was them. Finish what you were saying, please. I apologize about my outburst.
No, you know what? Your outburst was delightful.
Hey guys, sorry for the interruption. I have to let you know that today's episode is sponsored by Mando. Mando is a deodorant company that I've worked with in the past. To tell you a little bit about them, the deodorant is safe for the whole body, meaning that you can put it on your arms, on your legs, wherever you think you're smelling bad. If something is smelling bad in your house, like a table.
Yeah, he was 9 years old. He could have done the assassination. Don't undermine the children. RFK totally could have killed JFK.
You can use the deodorant on there. However, it's not recommended to eat it or put it in your ass. It's also created by a doctor who saw...
I don't think they infested the place with gnats on purpose. I think bringing in like a uncooked fish and just leaving it there to get room temperature is definitely going to attract flies.
Firsthand how bad people smell. Mando has been clinically proven to have blockout odor for the whole day and can help control it for up to 72 hours. The doctor who created it is a happy guy created in a happy lab. He's created by robots. Also, unrelated, don't eat the plastic off the floor. It might have dirt on it. I personally like Mando a lot because I hate taking showers. It takes up way too much of my day. I just don't have time for that. So if you don't want to take showers also, which is good, it helps with your health to not take showers, use Mando instead as an alternative. If you don't want to take showers anymore and you want to get some Mando for yourself instead, go to shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com and use code MATAN, MATAN, to get $5 off of a starter pack, which is perfect for new customers. You'll get 1 solid stick deodorant, 1 cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice along with free shipping. That's shopmando.com, shopmando, and use code MATAN, MATAN, to get $5, which is about 40% off a starter pack. Thank you to Mando for sponsoring today's episode. If a portal to the underworld appeared on Earth, who would the Chinese side with?
I'd like to say Earth because Han Chinese is the default setting for the human species. But I'm not sure. There's a lot that they support that lends to the underworld.
Interesting answer.
What? Well, slavery. The Chinese have embraced slavery as a production model.
Is that something they're still doing?
Yes.
I'm a little jealous.
No, you're not. You've been critical of it. You explicitly have been critical.
Oh, I'm critical of China, but not that part.
What part are you most critical of?
Probably the concentration camps.
Well, I mean, what's the distinction between that and slavery?
I mean, there's kind of a stark distinction, but okay.
One is killing and the other is a stable job.
That was not the comparison I was going to draw, but slavery, while terrible, I mean, I'm not going to say but. It's like, it's just, they're both completely separate things, I would say. They're evil in two completely different ways.
I would push back strongly. I think that they're both kind of killing in their own way.
Why do you say that?
Well, because slavery is no life. It's horrendous. It's bondage. It's the original sin.
Whoa. We're on YouTube.
Of humankind.
Do you support Gates' marriage?
I do support Gates' marriage.
And tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I met her at Mar-a-Lago, and she was from California, and she told me that I didn't have a chance with her, and then California locked down and Florida remained open. So even though I wasn't that impressive a guy, I could get a super impressive California wife through Gates' marriage during COVID.
No, Gates' marriage, like a man in a man.
Oh no! Well, that
No, you don't.
I listen. I have no objection to two dudes getting married.
Really?
I
Very
personally
progressive.
don't. I don't think the government should be like involved.
Would you
in marriage.
officiate it?
Would I officiate a gay marriage? I've never been.
You don't think the government should be involved in marriage at all? Do you think that all economic like benefits that you gain from marriage should be revoked? Like taxes and the benefit in healthcare and all types of stuff?
Asked. I'll be honest with you.
If you were, would you say yes?
Are you asking me, Matan? Is there is there someone special in your life?
No,
that
I'm asking if you would do it, not if you will officiate my gay marriage.
I don't think that that's something I would ever be asked to do. And
If you were, you might get a request now after this episode.
I don't think that's likely.
What if they ask for a cameo? Would you do it?
For a gay marriage? Would I do a cameo for a gay marriage?
Yes.
That's a great question. I'd have to think about that. You know what? I probably would.
You would?
I probably would.
Would you give them a discount for the marriage, or would you upcharge them?
Full, just regular price.
And how much do you usually charge?
It's like $250.
$250?
Yeah.
And you won't even say you'll kill my dad? Like, come on, man. For $250.
When will liberals stop trying to destroy the Constitution? First it was the 13th Amendment, and now they're trying to abolish the first one.
I think that you're not even that big a fan of the Constitution based
Yes,
on
I am.
some of your commentary.
As I said, I'm a fan of the OG one. The one from the 1700s.
That had some flaws. And the good news about that Constitution is it gave us ways to reform it and make changes as our sensibilities evolved.
I mean, he might have allowed that, but I think we should have just stuck with it.
I think we probably shouldn't have because of the way it treated people based on their immutable characteristics. I think it's totally fair.
Which amendment did you not like?
When I asked you about how you kind of choose your targets for this little enterprise you got going, you said you make an assessment of people, and if you think they're too full of themselves and think they're high above others, you bring them down to earth. That's been what you put out there. I don't think, and I think that's totally fair. What's not fair is when you treat people differently based on immutable characteristics. And I think that was a flaw that we have revised in the Constitution over time.
When you say immutable characteristics, you mean something like
Your
eye
color of
color,
your
skin
skin.
color?
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it hypothetically be that
Tall or short.
if somebody is arrogant, they're born sort of with the mind to achieve something like that?
No, I actually think that any person can be kind and
any person can, but you're definitely born with a You're definitely born with a predisposition, but I don't know if that's necessarily indicative of anything.
Giving and generous. I don't believe that the circumstances of your birth or your genetics
I
give
agree.
you a permission structure to be a dick.
Yeah. Instead
That's not very Christian of you. You should believe that humans are inherently evil and driven by original sin. Come on, Gates.
of Greenland, why don't we buy that irradiated part of Japan? It will be much cheaper.
Right, but Greenland is such a better value prop. Like, you're going to understand this as you acquire more assets in life. Greenland has national security value. Greenland
Yeah, but if we buy that thing in Japan, then we'll save some money. We
But-
can turn it into a museum.
Well, sure, bro. But if you instead of you and I doing this interview in West Hollywood, we were doing
Greenland also has 56,000 people.
it in Compton, you would have saved money, but it wouldn't have been the same experience. And Greenland is a very different experience than irradiated Japan.
Yeah, but the Japanese people are pretty nice. They brought you a nice meal. But even besides
Now,
that,
there's no Japanese people here unless this homie is, which I can't tell because he's got his rig on.
but even besides that beautiful Michelin they brought you, I mean, Japanese guy, they're not much different than. I mean, they are very different, but not on. If I was to rate a scale of person, how nice they are, that different from people from Greenland.
How many people from Greenland do you know?
I've met a couple. There's only like 50-something thousand of them in total, or 60,000.
I think there might be more.
That's how many live in Greenland.
Oh.
I just looked it up. It's
Well, I
56,000.
hope they choose to be a part of the United States, and we would welcome them.
I think the issue is the country that's controlling it. I forget which one. Is it Denmark?
The Dutch.
The Dutch, the Netherlands?
No, it is Denmark. You're right.
Yeah.
Whoops.
We're not cutting that out.
I can only imagine. No, you're right. Yeah, it's Denmark. They own Greenland.
He's embarrassed that he called the Danes the Dutch. They'd have your head for that, man.
Who do you think is more honest between you and the Honorable George Santos?
Me, for sure.
Why is that? He's the honorable one.
Get it because the Danes are the Danish.
I think
It was a multi-level joke I was trying to do. It didn't really hit.
I am too, actually. I think that's technically my title.
I'm just kidding. Guys are both pretty crazy liars.
No, I don't.
No,
what
I'm
have I-
kidding.
What have I
I'm
lied
kidding.
about? What have I? By
Something
the way,
we talked about earlier,
What
you
I'm in
might have lied.
what I'm in trouble for is telling the truth.
No, not exactly.
Who's the guy on the far right? That's Mike. What are you talking about?
What do you think I've lied?
That's just Mike.
About? Lay it out
He's
there. What's
the
your
co-host.
evidence?
I
You've
don't-
accused me of something. What's your
I
evidence?
didn't accuse you of anything.
You said I might have been a liar.
I said you might. That's not an accusation.
It most certainly is.
To say somebody might be a liar.
Sure.
I'm not saying you are a liar. I'm saying you might be a liar.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, if you zero in on anything that suggests I haven't been honest with you, you let me know, and we'll discuss it.
I have one thing, but I don't know. Are we thinking the same one?
I wasn't thinking anything. I'm a pretty truthful guy.
Oh, stops there. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, man. Like I said earlier, those allegations about me were disproven.
What allegations?
Well, you counted to 17 on your finger, so you're making a reference.
Hey, you counted 17 on his fingers too.
To a false allegation.
I didn't do anything like that.
Okay.
I didn't. Why would you?
Well, now who's the liar? Because I just watched you do it.
I was doing stretching exercises with my fingers.
How often do you stretch your fingers?
But for some reason, I can't get this next one up here.
Well, if you can't get the
It's
next one up, you're
almost
gonna have
there.
bigger problems.
Yep, that's the beauty of Matan Evans' show. Is it makes absolutely no sense. Did you notice this guy down here? That's the real question.
Later on in life,
Can I do one other stretching exercise with my fingers? How many did you count?
I wasn't counting.
Okay, we'll move on. Would the U.S. be better off if we elected more supervillains like you into the government?
I'm not a supervillain. I'm a honest, hardworking dude who fought for my constituents.
Have you figured out how to use that interweb thingamajig?
Interweb?
That internet thing on that lab computer?
What are you talking about?
The online stuff.
Oh, the internet? Yeah, I know how to use the internet.
I don't know. What do we do?
Well, I use like ChatGPT to answer a bunch of questions, and I use Grok. I use X.
Grok? What is that one?
Grok is Elon's AI tool that.
Have you ever met him?
I have.
How is he in real life?
He's a brilliant guy, cares a lot about the country. I think that he feels deeply committed to make humans a multi-planetary species. He saw the government as a principal barrier to that objective, and so he endeavored to change the government, which he has, and now he's got substantial influence to do good things for us.
Did you have like a dinner with him or something?
I think we mostly met without food. We were mostly working together as Trump was coming into office, and we were trying to design features of the government that would work for the people.
So you spent some time with him, though?
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's surprising. I thought he had to spend all of his time on that Path of Exile game.
No, he's a good video game player, but he uses his time well.
Yes. Would it be possible for me, with your help, to open a massive casino?
Yes, he is a real human being. This is Mike. This is Mike. Just to keep it easy to remember.
In the Congress building?
What would be the games you would want to have in that casino?
Blackjack, roulette, poker. No, not poker. That's a little bit of a skilled game. I want to make it just my style.
Craps?
Yeah, craps.
Pie gal?
Now we're getting the ones I don't know. See, with your help here,
well,
it
it's
could be
important because
big.
the different games that you have in a casino reflect a different license structure that you have to have.
One is in Vegas, one's on the Native American land.
On Native American land, there's Class 1 gaming, Class 2 gaming.
I thought they're allowed to do whatever they want.
No. They have to have a compact with the state government in which the tribal land is held, and then they can have gaming and.
At what point will we
cigarettes.
stop pretending to care and just take back that land too? I mean, what are we doing?
Well, in some places we should. On the border.
And this is why it's so great when Matan says crazy shit like that, because it does just open up these other, like, the actual, like, right-wing extremists to say shit like this. Well, you're not wrong.
Border where Native American tribes are allowing illegals on the border.
What are we doing?
Well, in some places we should. On the border where.
Yeah. Take away Native American land in places like Arizona, which is the most densely populated, like, Native American population in America. There's over, like, 20-something tribes in just Arizona.
Native American tribes are allowing illegals and.
Is that something that's happening?
Oh, to a massive extent.
Wow.
And those lands we actually probably should take back.
Or we could just do something like we did with that part of Japan. What if we irradiate the border?
Well, then that would affect a lot of our own people, and that would probably be bad.
No, we'll move them into a nicer city. It can't be that nice down there.
There are places along the border in Yuma and in San Diego.
No, but just a really small part. Like we're gonna.
Yeah, but that's not how radiation works, man. It spreads. You can't just.
We'll get a Einstein level guy, and he'll compact it into a space about as wide as from here to the end of that. And we'll do that across the entire border.
I don't think that you would be able to contain the radiation.
Why?
Because radiation spreads.
What if we build a wall around it?
Well, I think that it would interact with the air and the water in a way that would be pretty negative to the people around.
Oh, I have a solution. We'll put fans on the U.S. side and we'll blow it there so the Mexicans can get irradiated.
The problem is
then it's no longer a problem.
Winds down there in the Yuma area that would be stronger than your fans.
Not if we build really big fans.
All right, well, show me the fan and we'll see how it goes.
And then you would support the casinos.
No.
Oh. And
wait, I thought we were talking about radiation, not casinos.
Well, it was all divergent from one to the next one.
It seemed to be.
Now, I already asked you a question earlier about the presidents, but how many years, assuming that it wasn't constitutional breaking and everybody was okay with it, would you want Longneck to serve?
Who's Longneck?
An important question.
Longneck. He's the next guest coming in about 2 minutes.
I don't know him.
You don't know Longneck? He's that guy on Instagram.
I told you, man, I haven't been on Instagram in years.
Oh, that's true. But he's from back in the day when you were on it. He had that one guy attack him or something, and then he has a long neck.
Like Schiff, the California guy? The pencil neck guy?
No, he has a way longer neck.
Oh, okay.
Would you like what, a shift from like here to here?
Yeah, about that.
So then long neck would be like from here to here.
That's a huge neck.
Yeah, that's why he's
He's
well
coming in 2
known.
minutes. That's an incredible.
We have to end the episode here because Long Neck is now here.
Well, I appreciate you having me on.
Yes, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
appreciate it.
Yes, always a pleasure.
That was a fun episode. If you want, you can take your Michelin with you.
I don't want.
You don't
No.
want to bring that with you back to your place?
No, I'm good, man. And you're a champ.
Thanks for coming on.
Good meeting you, man.
Do you have any final message?
Vote for Trump.
It's a little late for that.
Are you sure you?
Nice. Okay, well, that was the end of that. I will say I'm
Hello, everybody.
I'm a decently big fan of Matan. I like watching when he has interesting guests on. He is my version of Joe Rogan. I watch him for the guests. But yeah, the way I think about it is Matan is basically Borat meets Eric Andre. That's the way I think about it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Are you sure you believe?
So this isn't the whole video isn't Sneeko and this guy, but I wanted to check this out just because as I've been doing more research on Charlie Kirk for the video that I'm going to put out, I've been getting more back into religious philosophy and stuff. And I find Sneeko to just be very devoid of thought. And so I was wondering what this was, because it's arrogant Sneeko, humbled by Greek Orthodox. Brutal reality check from Divinity of Jesus. We'll check it out.
Believe in one? Absolutely. I believe in one God. Okay. So when you pray, do you pray to God or you pray to Jesus? Either or.
Obviously, this is going to be the boring part. I know religion isn't everyone's cup of tea. So if you're not enjoying it, if you don't want to watch this, I do appreciate everybody who's come in so far. Thank you so much. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, we're going to watch this. And then there was one other video I saw called How to Tell If You're a Demon. And so I wanted to check that out too. But yeah, we're going to watch this first.
Same thing. Either is that means that applies too. Yeah. See how the language is already You can make a linguistic point if you want. The point is I could say oh God, or I could say oh Jesus. If you played to one, you wouldn't use the word either. I don't understand what you mean by that. You said you believe in.
This is a faulty argument. I could say either one of my ears when talking about me as a, like, you know what I mean? They're still part of me as a whole.
One. You say you believe in one, but you ask who do you pray to, Jesus or God? You said either one. No, I'm saying either or. A little bit. Can we have a little discussion for the cameras? What do you want to talk about? I don't know. You just give us your views on Christianity, and we'll just talk about them. We don't have to debate. We can just dialogue if you like. Okay. So what are you? Let's start with I'm an Eastern Orthodox. What does that mean? So a lot of times people say Orthodox, they start off by saying a place. Yeah, because people don't say I'm an Arabic Muslim. They don't say I'm an Indonesian Muslim. They just say Muslim. That's the number one thing when you hear Orthodox. I'm a Serbian Muslim. What does that mean? That's just. Country. Just tell me well.
What? They don't. Is he arguing that there aren't sects of Islam? Because literally. Okay, it's loading. But Sunni, Sufism, Wahhabism, Islam, Muslim Brotherhood, Ahmadiyya, Shia, Druze. Like, what are you talking about? Just because they don't say, like, what country they're from? Eastern Orthodox isn't saying a specific... Like, there are Greek Orthodox churches and stuff, but... I don't know, it's just such a weird point to make. Why do you have to separate yourself? Because it's a different belief system? Whether it be through, like, the actual, like, beliefs themselves or the actual... what's the word? Rituals that they perform.
Eastern just refers typically to the fact that the East and West had a split in the schism in 1054 between what becomes the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Church. We call ourselves particularly Eastern Orthodox to distinct us from the Oriental Orthodox in Egypt, Ethiopia, Armenia, who we have Christological disagreements with. So it's just to point out the distinction in between, because they also call themselves the Oriental Orthodox. In Arabic, for them, Oriental East, it's pretty much the same word. So we only say it in English really to distinct. In just normal conversation, we just call ourselves Orthodox. Right. It's just for the sake of making sure that it's clear what position we are holding to. That will just be Chalcedonian Christology. That will just be basic stuff like Theophysitism. Right. So as opposed to their view.
Well, I mean, it's honestly just because most like religious sects, not sects come from like different philosophical thoughts on the principles taught through the different religions. So I don't know why this is even like needing to be talked about. Like obviously people are going to believe different things about the same like belief systems depending on where they are and what historical context like affects them.
Of strict metaphysitism or monophysite.
I'm good. It's okay. I'm not gonna
Don't worry, we're just having a little. Yeah.
You said Eastern Orthodox.
Yeah.
Serbian Orthodox, Russian Orthodox.
I go to a Greek church.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Just asking.
No, come. I wanna have a little dialogue with you, man. I'm not trying to.
What do you want to talk about?
I'm saying, I'm trying to hear your views on Christianity. You normally have a lot to say on your.
How many gods do you believe in?
One.
One God.
Yeah.
Is Jesus God?
Absolutely.
Okay, so who did Jesus pray to?
The Father.
Okay, that sounds like there's more than one now.
There's more because there's more than one hypostases in the Godhead. There's not more than one God, because God in this case refers to the nature, the divine nature, as mentioned in 2 Peter 1:4, the divine physis in Greek. So we understand there's one nature. That's what we refer to when we say one God. These persons have the nature. God is one in nature, tri and hypostases. But the hypostases aren't separate beings, because being is once again proper to the nature. So there's one being in three persons.
Bro's saying it too smart. Let me break it down for you. Basically, Jesus would be the equivalent of God playing a video game on Earth. When you play a video game character, it is a representation of self. Even if it is not you, it is still you when in context of the world of the video game. So our world in context of Jesus would be God. And I'm not even like a Christian. I'm not. I just like talking about the different philosophical aspects, I think. It's all interesting. I'm going to create my own cult. You'll see. I keep saying that as a joke because I would like to come up with my own like belief system, but I don't want people to actually think I'm trying to make a cult. I've just thought that people always say, talking about like moral objectivism and moral absolutism, saying that things are a specific way because God dictates it. But you could also think about like moral absolutism from a perspective of like secularism, if you're talking about the belief coming from honestly moral objectivism just isn't that well put together, because it just breaks apart because everything is like the subjective views on the objective reality. Nothing is objectively bad. They just happen, and then it's our subjective view on it. So I don't know. I don't necessarily believe in that either, but at least there's an argument there, I guess.
What's that word you're using?
Hypostasis.
Sneeko is punchable. He's very condescending, even when lacking like all knowledge.
What's your definition of that?
Person, individual subsistence and a rational
I
nature.
have never heard of that.
Distinct, not separate.
Hypostases.
What's the difference between distinct and separate?
Well, separable means they can be taken apart. We're not saying they can be taken apart.
Semantics.
It's not semantics, it's metaphysically different. Separation implies like this, I can separate this from myself, but a distinction just implies that there is a difference between two things without being able to separate them. And they're different insofar as their identity as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. They're not different insofar as their nature once again.
So hypostasis, I think I have briefly heard about this like in high school or some shit. But an underlying reality or substance as opposed to attributes or to that which lacks substance. So it's to say that they are one, or was he saying there's three substances? I feel like he might have this backwards. Because I feel like you would say there's one hypostasis, one hypostases is the like Godhead in the Trinity, but the attributes as opposed to attributes or that which lacks substance. Because the attributes would be the individual points in the Trinity. I don't know though. That's a very interesting concept.
Sneeko steps in with his usual confidence,
Fuck is this guy?
To poke holes in Christian theology with a few quick jabs. But from the start, he's met with something he clearly didn't anticipate. Someone who actually knows their faith inside and out. What he thought would be an easy takedown quickly turns into a lesson in theology. The Greek Orthodox speaker doesn't hesitate.
What is the point of this guy is adding nothing?
God is one in nature, but exists in three distinct persons: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It's not a contradiction, and it's not something that can be dismissed with a wave of the hand. Sneeko tries anyway, brushing it off as word.
I guess it's about as much as I'm adding, though, to be fair.
Play, but the response is firm. Distinction isn't separation. This isn't some modern invention. It's a truth the church has defended for centuries. Then comes the moment where Sneeko stumbles. He thinks that.
I mean, that's a good point, too, that this question, it's not like the first time someone has asked that. How could Jesus pray to himself? It's like the whole backbone to like Christianity as a whole, and the idea of how it calls back, like how Jesus calls back upon the Old Testament and how it signals to the prophecy or whatever.
That because Jesus prays to the Father, it must mean he isn't God. But that logic collapses under the weight of history and scripture. The Son speaking to the Father doesn't disprove the Trinity, it reveals the relationship within it. I mean, it's exactly what Christians have believed since the beginning.
Okay. So, are you sure you believe in one?
Absolutely, I believe in one God.
Okay. So when you pray, do you pray to God or you pray to Jesus?
Either or, it's the same thing.
Either is that means that applies too.
Yeah.
See how the language is already.
You can make a linguistic point if you want. The point is, I could say, oh God, or I could say, oh Jesus. I'm just saying there's not really a distinction between saying either of those things.
Okay.
It's like the difference between saying, oh Ya Allah and Ya Rahman. It's just you can say either or, but you're referencing back to the same being, right?
That's just two names.
Yeah, that's the point. And we're just giving you two names of.
I mean, yeah, it's drawing a distinction without necessarily a separation.
Persons in the Godhead.
You're saying two distinct beings.
See, you need to not say separate entities. These are distinct persons.
Oh, he's like saying exactly what I just said.
They are one being. So that's just not characterizing what I said correctly. So is that your contention, Christianity, that we're allegedly tritheists or polytheists? Is that your contention?
No, that's what I don't resonate. It never makes sense to me.
Well, I
speak
just
to people like,
broke it
let
down.
me explain. I speak to Eastern Orthodox, Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, Christian Scientists, Mormons. Everybody has a different definition.
Yeah.
Whether it's a form, it's a distinct being. Jesus is God. There's only one God. There's three gods. There's the Holy Spirit.
Which Christians are you talking to that said there's three gods?
Oh, a lot. The Christians are never
I swear, Sneeko just makes shit up. I feel like no one's ever told him that.
consistent about what they
Well,
believe.
anyone who told
I've
you.
heard the hypotheses. I've never heard.
Well,
that
that's the standard formula that it's been for centuries, for nearly 2,000 years. This has been our standard formalization. I mean, once again, I don't know any Christian who
says. The
says.
first time I've heard a Christian say, like, I ask, okay, you believe in one God, and then he said
Yeah.
either or. If you prayed to one, you wouldn't use the word either.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
You said you believe in one. You say you believe in one, but then I asked, who do you pray to, Jesus or God? You said either one.
No, I'm saying
Either either or.
Well, you can twist my language if you want, but as I already made clear, we're talking about hypostases. We're talking about the fact that any of them are God according to us, but we still pray to any of them as God. There's not really a distinction in regards that they are God. But there's no difference between that and saying you can call upon any of the names of your God and it's still referring to the same being. That's not necessarily a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sort of rhetoric is why I love Christianity and why Tawhid makes sense to me.
But that's not rhetoric. That's calling it rhetoric isn't,
I'm not calling it rhetoric. I'm just
You said that sort of
the way
rhetoric.
you're explaining it right now, it still doesn't make sense.
That's called a personal incredulity fallacy. So appealing to your own lack of understanding of a thing does not entail a thing is not true.
I mean, it's also just funny to say that, yes, things from religion should speak to you if they are true. But that doesn't mean that it shouldn't take some like mental, some actual thought put into the like things you're reading. That's why you pray before you read the Bible or whatever. You're asking God to give you, to reveal like the truths within the text. That would be like your purpose in praying beforehand. Because what's the purpose of even reading the Bible or reading the Quran or reading any of this stuff or talking about the religion if it's all just so obvious? If it just smacks you in the face and makes sense. or if it at least has to.
That's fallacious.
Sneeko pushes hard on the idea that praying to Jesus or God must mean two different gods. But the Greek Orthodox speaker isn't phased. He explains the Trinity, one God, three persons. In fact,
like he's
I
feel like he's just reiterating what was said.
It's false. Sneeko argues Christians aren't consistent, but the Orthodox response. At one point, the Orthodox speaker calls out how words can be twisted, but the message here, it's not three gods. It really.
Yes.
So
It's okay, bro. I don't really want
well,
to.
no, because I want to engage with what you think about my beliefs, right? Because you say
Is that what you really want? Or you just
Yeah,
want
yeah,
some clout?
I can put it with God as my witness. I have no interest in clout.
Which God?
My God, the Lord our God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I was just curious because, you know, he says a lot about our faith online. I just want to engage with him in a dialogue. I think that's fair for a critic of our faith to engage with someone who wants to answer some criticisms.
And I explain. Like the reason that I left Christianity is because I've never heard an answer that makes sense to me. And you're saying that my lack of understanding is wrong.
Well, I'm saying that appealing.
Faith all starts from understanding. If something doesn't make logical sense to me, if I don't understand it, then I'm not going to believe it.
All I was stating.
But you're not willing to put the mental energy in trying to understand. You just go, it doesn't make sense, so it's not true. That doesn't make sense to me. You're not giving an actual argument as to why it doesn't make sense.
That's not a personal attack on your faith.
Well,
it just
Like you're using semantical arguments to be like, well, you just said either. So obviously you think about it as separate.
Makes sense to me.
Well, all
and
I
even
was-
now, the way you explain it, hypotheses,
Yeah.
either or, distinct, it still doesn't make sense, and I don't think anybody will ever be able
Well,
to
it's made sense and been understood quite consistently throughout many fields of philosophy and theology for centuries. So that's not true. But all I was pointing out there is appealing to, I don't understand this or this doesn't make sense to me, doesn't actually prove the thing in question false. That's called a personal incredulity fallacy. So your reasoning is logically flawed. So it doesn't follow to.
I have a question for you. Are you a hypocrite?
Sometimes.
Is that what Jesus taught you?
No, Jesus taught me to be better, but I'm also a human who falls and makes mistakes. Go on.
Because your Christian sister is cursing.
Oh yeah, I disagree with her.
But you don't say anything to her.
Oh, I
As soon as
do.
someone says something towards him, towards her, then you say something.
Well, once again, we all know Shalini. Shalini's got a particular way. But calling a woman a sharmuta, which is a prostitute or whore in Arabic, I was just telling him that by engaging in
She's
this,
cursing the greatest
I
man
agree.
to ever step
I
on
agree.
the
She shouldn't be doing that in that manner. I've never disagreed. I don't go around the park doing that. I don't think I'm known for doing that. I think I don't have any particular reason why I should be lumped in. I was just stating that regardless of that, as a Muslim man, do you really think he needs to be following around a tiny woman like that, calling her a sharmuta? As a Muslim.
Shockingly, Sneeko challenges the
Low-key, that's a really good argument. That if, regardless of what she's doing is wrong, is an eye for an eye, right?
Greek Orthodox speaker's motives, accusing him of chasing.
The only time the God talks about an eye for an eye, well, he probably talks about it quite a few times. They talk about miscarriages. If a man accidentally causes a miscarriage in a woman through a fight, then he has to pay her or be killed.
Clout, but the response is clear. He's not here for attention, just a real conversation. Sneeko even admits he's drawn to Christianity, but claims he's never heard an answer that truly makes sense. The Orthodox speaker pushes back, explains shape body or defensive it. He has to be in
what it is, so you can
Recited only one version of the Quran has been changed in
one right. So
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it's canon.
So do you accept that there's 10 qira'at of the Quran, 10 different readings?
Sure.
Okay, but those 10 different readings.
I was really hoping to hear this guy, them do this back and forth, because honestly, I think that was a very fair point that he's saying, well, why don't you call out your own? When honestly, that's such coming from a Muslim, that's such a weird thing to say, because most Islam says to kind of side with your people, obviously try and change their hearts and their minds if they're doing wrong, but to always make sure that you have the backs of your people and stuff. So I don't know, that's just kind of an interesting argument.
It's about wrestling with big, complex truths, even when they don't fit neatly into a debate.
So I was wondering what your perspective was about the preservation of the Bible and the Quran.
Right, the Quran has never been changed in
Never been changed. So there's only one Quran.
Yeah, it's only.
I mean,
Only one version of the Quran is
Only one version of the Quran.
Yeah, and since then, like people have been able to recite it, even if all the Qurans were burned, we'd be able to.
Right. Because the oral tradition, you know exactly what it is, so you can recite it.
Oh, I can't recite it, but people can
Others
memorize
can.
it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, brothers can.
So, do you accept that there's 10 qira'at of the Quran, 10 different readings?
Sure.
Okay, but those.
I feel like he doesn't know the first thing about like the Islam as a faith.
10 different readings are obviously different, right?
Okay.
So if they're different, then there's not one Quran, there's 10 Qurans.
Okay.
So do you take that back? There's only one Quran?
That's the first time I've heard.
That's a dumb argument. Wait, what? I'm sorry. That was just kind of a weak argument. There's actually not one Bible. There's all of these different books from the Bible. So there's this many Bibles.
Quran, there's 10 Qurans. Those 10 different readings are obviously different, right?
Okay.
So if they're different, then there's not one Quran, there's 10.
Or is he saying 10 different readings as in 10 different iterations or something? What does he mean by that?
10 Qurans.
Okay.
So do you take that back? There's only one Quran?
That's the first time I've heard that.
Well, no, I said it to you, you accepted it, so I assume you know about it, right? You're not just taking my word for it.
What are the 10 versions?
No, so there's different citations, just like there's different accents. There's a British accent, there's a Texas accent, there's an English accent.
They're not accents.
Different accent. Who are you gonna believe, a Muslim or a Christian?
And this is what I'm talking about, is like this type of... You shouldn't believe a Muslim or a Christian. You should believe what is true. That is like the short of it.
So, really? Is that what it boils down to? Just believe...
Between the Qur'an?
Yeah, of course. So there's a famous one. Muhammad Hijab will tell you this. I had a chat with him about it. So you have in Surah Al-Fatiha, you have Ayah 4. I think it's Ayah 4. Ayah 4, Ayah 7. Yeah, so Maliki Umadin or Maliki Umadin, owner or king in Arabic. They're two different words. So if you want to read up about this, you can get a book called The 10 Qira'at of the Noble Quran by Dr. Fidel Suleiman, who worked for the Bridges Foundation in Cairo, which is a Dawah institute. And he's written a book about it, where he translates the Quran into English, but not just in one reading, he does it for all 10. So you can read the differences in the Quran for all different 10 valid readings according to Islamic.
Okay, if he means readings as different iterations, then yeah, then he's right. I take back me calling it a dumb argument. I just felt like calling it readings. I guess I just took that in the Christian sense of readings as individual scripture or whatever.
Islamic scholars.
Great.
Cool. So do you accept then that the Quran is not perfectly preserved?
No, I'll read that book and I'll see if that's the case. It's the first time I've heard that.
Okay. Well, all right.
I'll read that book, bro. You haven't even read the Quran. What the fuck are you talking about?
I think you can see the point that the Quran isn't perfectly preserved, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
What's the point for you?
Well, that's according to the scholars I quoted. I mean, you can ask Muhammad Hijab, he has the same view.
Because the question is, which one is divinely revealed?
Yeah. Well, it gets a bit more complicated because there's supposed to be 7 aluf.
Also, keep in mind that you guys are Christians. You guys misinterpret everything.
Oh, yeah. So that's called ad hominem.
Why would we
that's
take
called
your
ad hominem.
interpretation? You think a man is God.
That's ad hominem. Ad hominem. Calm down. Calm down. No need.
Here's our buddy back from the dead.
To attack someone.
No, I mean,
it's just ad hominem.
common sense.
Ad hominem means against them. It's a fallacy that people use in debate when they can't actually address the point.
I'm having a conversation.
So let's address the point. So according to Islamic Sunnah, the Hadith, Muhammad says there is 7 viable different ways that you can recite the Quran. They're called the Aruf. I can get the Hadith, it's Sahih Bukhari and others as well. So that must mean there are 7 ways of reciting the Quran. But according to your scholars, there's 10. How did that happen?
That's the first time I'm hearing that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You should look it up. Because what people are saying is that actually, Uthman, Uthman canonized the Quran. Do you know about that canonization process?
No. What's that?
Okay, so the third caliph.
People like that.
Yeah, so Uthman put together a committee around 652 time to around 656. And he put together this committee to collect different Quranic materials from different places because there were reports of people arguing about what the Quran was because they differed. He then decided to standardize it into one Qurayshi dialect, to one standard reading. And then he burnt all the other Quranic materials and he sent it out to the 5 different cities. So you had Kufa, Sham, Medina, Mecca, and so on. My point is that if there's meant to be 7 readings, where are they?
I don't know. Where do you think they are?
I think they were destroyed. I think that 6 out of 7 valid readings for your Quran are destroyed and they're not preserved.
They are within all the recitation we have today.
6 out of 7 is the majority. It's a vast majority.
Who do you think destroyed them?
This is my good friend Sam. Really good guy. Love him. Absolutely love him.
Who do you think destroyed them?
Uthman.
Why do you
They are within.
I don't know. We don't know. I mean, it's a scholarly question. We don't actually know what Uthman destroyed. It just says that there were Quranic manuscript material that was destroyed. It was burnt, but they never elaborate on what that was. So in effect,
You don't think you're just projecting about how all the
is this
Bibles-
another ad hominem?
Just a
Is this another ad hominem? Okay, it's ad
you're
hominem.
projecting.
So
Because how all the Bible.
Hold on. Hold on.
You don't think you're just projecting?
Hold on.
Your
Gonna speaker's corner.
That's a two-core
You
fallacy.
don't think you're just projecting your insecurity?
Ad hominem. Ad hominem. Ad hominem.
That's a two-core fallacy. Whether it was or was not the case that the Bible was preserved or not.
Because that's what I noticed about Christians. You guys just project your insecurities about your religion.
You got it?
Wow.
Sneako's suddenly out here claiming there's only one version of the Quran, but the street preacher doesn't flinch. He calmly brings up the 10 chirahats of the Noble Quran by Dr. F. Manny, a direct
Literally just recites exactly what happened in the video. Amazing. But that is it. Then it just cuts to other people talking about different things. But that's all I wanted to look at was the Sneeko part, just because why does Sneeko even try and talk about like religion at all? Like, you don't have to be like super devout to be religious. Like, it's so odd that he feels like it's necessary to be like acting holier than thou. Hello, welcome in. Hey, everybody's got to sleep, so I don't blame you. And the stream will always be up if you want to check it out later. So this is the last thing I think I'm going to check out, and then I got to end because I got to do some filming. But this is How to Tell If You're a Demon, Authentic Discipleship Podcast, Episode 1. This came out a day ago. I'm just like, I'm on it with finding new videos. This came out a day ago, has 36 views. I really need to check this out. The beginning seems kind of slow, so I need to speed it up.
Ever wondered if demons are real or if they wander this earth? I know I've probably come across a few demons of my own, some
Karens
out there. Or if they wander this earth? I know I've probably come across a few demons of my own, some Karens out there.
The real demons in the world.
But in all seriousness, there are some people out there that are demons and their fathers are the devil. Their father is the devil. And we'll be getting into that today. How's it going? My name is David Isaac. Hope you're having a great day in Jesus' name. So let's get into it. But first, let's read today's verse. It says, "You are truly my disciples if you remain faithful to my teachings." And that's one of the main things that we like to focus on, is making disciples. This is like a discipleship podcast, and I believe that's what Jesus ordered us to do, is to be disciples and to make disciples of others. And he says here, "You are truly my disciples if you remain faithful to my teachings." So Jesus says it himself, just remain faithful to my teachings, deny yourself daily, and you can consider yourself a disciple. And the context behind this is in John 8, if you want to turn to that in your Bible. But the context behind this, and that verse was John 8:31. The context behind this is Jesus is teaching at a temple by the Mount of Olives. And the Mount of Olives is where he talked about the signs before he returns. And that's another thing we love to focus on this channel. Subscribe if you aren't subscribed yet to this Christian channel. And getting back into it, Jesus is teaching at the temple by the Mount of Olives, where he told us the signs before he returns. So he's there teaching at the temple, and he says, "You are truly my disciple if you remain faithful to my teachings." He also says on 8:12, "I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness, because you will have the light that leads to life." So darkness can come in many ways: health, finance. There's so many ways that darkness can sneak up on us. Like for me, I have a lump on my neck for months now, and it's been freaking me out. I went and got an ultrasound, and I'm going to get the results on Tuesday. But
hey man, you don't need to go get the ultrasound. Just let God take care of it. What are you talking about?
God willing, I know for sure everything's going to be okay, because God will take care of me in Jesus' name. Amen. But I do feel the pressure and I guess the darkness. But luckily, Jesus is the light, and I have that light.
Yeah, we all have our demon modes. It happens. Happens to the best of us.
Inside of me as well, he says here. For example, when I was working, because that's another thing right now, I'm not currently working. That's why I'm able to do this full time. When I was working, my coworkers, a lot of them, it was a toxic environment. It was sales. It was a sales game. That's how it is. And not only that, a lot of them were homosexuals. So you can see how it would be awkward talking about Jesus in that type of environment. However,
there are many gay Christians. You are just a bigoted person. But okay.
When I was working.
Because how would you bring up Christian values or Christianity? Would you just be like, well, God's against that. God actually hates gay people.
My coworkers, a lot of them, it was a toxic environment. It was sales. It was a sales game. That's how it is. And not only that, a lot of them were homosexuals. So you can see how it would be awkward talking about Jesus in that type of environment. However, I still managed to talk about Jesus any chance I got, which is pretty much daily. That's pretty much what they knew me by. And one of them told me, one of my friends there told me, "Thank you for being a light in this dark environment," because he was constantly going through stuff.
Yes, Christians can't die from cancer. Convert now.
And he was he had to move to another store because that's how toxic the environment was. But that whole company is bankrupt now. I mean, Jesus was not. You could tell Jesus was not. The company was not surrounded by the teachings of Jesus. That's all I'll say.
And this is like one of those things that is like a big flaw in modern Christianity, is people who just assign every good thing in their life to have been because of God, but every bad thing is because it was acts of the devil. When it's just like because when those two things don't like align properly, they like start malfunctioning and go like, well, but wait, but God allowed me to like bro, like was it the devil that put the lump on your neck? Was it the devil, or was it God trying to teach you something? Like, what was the purpose of this? Because it's just kind of a cop out. These things are happening. You can think that it's all for some divine purpose or whatever, but it doesn't mean that God is literally individually picking and choosing each action, not each action, but each individual next step that's going to happen.
I'll say, but that company's bankrupt, and my point is that although we're in darkness, we have the light, and we need to shine that light. You know, when you're a light, you don't just put a light in a room and then cover it with a bowl. That's useless. You let that light shine in the darkness so people can see. And in the same way, be a light.
Yep, Christ. The Christ.
Light wherever you go, wherever you're at. It doesn't matter if.
The thing that's killing me is that he doesn't have it like in the frame enough. Like it should be a little bit more over. You could have less of this plant in frame.
Your job doesn't like when you talk about Jesus, it's worth losing the job for. Jesus will give you a better job. Instantly, he can do anything. I think that's what Jesus is telling me to preach today, is that through all things can be done through him. Just follow him. So let's get into the scripture where it talks about people being demons. Again, this is on John 8. Every day I'll be going through 1 or 2 chapters. We're going through the book of John. We're on 8, and we're going to start on 42. We're going to read this paragraph. This is some good scripture to think about and to kind of memorize what happened. So like I said, he's at the temple preaching. The Pharisees are after him because they don't like what he's saying. He's preaching the truth. And Jesus told them, if God were your father, you would love me because I have come to you from God. If I'm not here on my own, but he sent me. Why can't you understand what I'm saying? It's because you can't even hear me. Now this is where we get into figuring out which people in the world are demons and their father is the devil. Because you've seen videos, people get into arguments, to fights. There's always that one person you're trying to reason with them, and it's like they're not listening. And this is what Jesus is dealing with. These Pharisees, he's trying to tell them the truth, and they're not listening. He says, why can't you understand what I'm saying? It's because you can't even hear me. For you are the children of your father, the devil, and you love to do the evil things he does. He was a murderer from the beginning. He has always hated the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he lies, it is consistent with his character, for he is a liar and the father of lies. So when I tell the truth, you just naturally don't believe me. Which of you can truthfully accuse me of a sin? And
I will say, it's funny that he brings up John specifically, because John isn't part of the synoptic gospels. That's it. There's 4 gospels in the Bible: Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. And Mark, Matthew, and Luke are part of what's called the synoptic gospels, which are synoptic basically means that they coincide with each other, that they all have like similar story beats and stuff, whereas John is more of a it's almost like an esoteric version of the gospel that acts as a way to express that Jesus wasn't just fulfilling the prophecy, but was also like, it's like to clarify his level of divinity or whatever. And like, it doesn't have certain stories that like it doesn't have like certain passages that other versions of the gospel do. But I find that interesting that he picked this one, because it is almost like the more it's the probably the least philosophical in nature, and more trying to point directly to the spirituality of like Jesus as a godhead.
And since I'm telling you the truth, why don't you believe me? Anyone who belongs to God listens gladly to the words of God, but you don't listen because you don't belong to God. Boom. Right there. Jesus says, whoever is gladly willing to listen to the word of God is of God. But people are out here rejecting Jesus. They don't want to hear about the truth. You know, they refuse to hear about logic.
See, I find religion extremely silly. I do. It's hard for me because I like you, Beppis. I wasn't raised Christian, but I was raised Catholic, and I had all of my steps of baptism, first communion, first reconciliation. I went to catechism. I didn't go to a Catholic school, thank God, but my whole thing that I always had an issue with is the way that religion gets utilized for negatives, because I do believe that, like, philosophically, religion helps people who need help. If somebody doesn't have a path in their life, if they don't have like grounding towards like actual like their own forms of righteousness, then religion helps like direct those people. I think it can help people that aren't as well thought out. But the problem is once you start like trying to think it out, religion kind of falls apart. But I think it was Francis Bacon. I think I might be wrong, but I think it was Francis Bacon that said a little bit of philosophy brings you like away from religion, but a lot of philosophy brings you to religion or something. See, I grew up religious, but it was always in the back of my mind, no matter where, because I've just been too introspective about it. Yeah. And I think that the reason that I'm more introspective about it too is because of the Catholicism, because Catholicism um like involves certain apocrypha and different stuff. But then that made me question why other apocrypha wasn't added in, like different books that were cut out and stuff like that. So it just happens. I kind of feel betrayed by my parents because they baptized me. Like, don't I have a say in this? Go find an unbaptism. Go get unbaptized. They'll dunk you in a bathtub full of liquor. It'll wash away all the glory, wash back on the sin.
Logic and truth and the evidence behind Jesus' death and his resurrection. Demons. Their father is the devil. Which even demons and Satan believe in Jesus. Like they say that's the one sin that Satan would never do, not believe in Jesus, not believe in God. So Satan and the devil and his angels believe in Jesus and God. But not even the people here on earth will listen to that type of reason. Children of the devil. And that's what John 8 talks about. So what can you do today?
Wait, so he's saying demons are people that don't believe Jesus as God?
Is the devil. But people out here rejecting Jesus, they don't want to hear about the truth. They refuse to hear about logic. It is consistent with his character, for he is a liar and the father of lies. So when I tell the truth, you just naturally don't believe me. Which of you can truthfully accuse me of a sin? And since I'm telling you the truth, why don't you believe me? Anyone who belongs to God listens gladly to the words of God. But you don't listen because you don't belong to God. Boom. Right there. Jesus says, whoever is gladly willing to listen to the word of God is of God. But people out here rejecting Jesus, they don't want to hear about the...
That doesn't make them demons. And this was also one of my biggest contentions with Christianity is the absolutism, to say you are either for me or against me. You either love me or you hate me. You can have a level of ambivalence to like spirituality that is almost necessary, because I feel like realistically, I don't know what happens when I die. I could go to a heaven, I could go to hell, I could be flying on the back of a bird through space. Like, we don't know what happens. We really don't. It could just turn black and everything, ends. But regardless of any of those, we only have an effect on what we can do here and now. And so it's about the actions that we take to not just benefit ourselves in the afterlife, but to benefit the future generations that, will come be like after us.
The truth, they refuse to hear about logic and truth and the evidence behind Jesus' death and his resurrection. Demons. Their father is the devil. Which even demons and Satan believe in Jesus. Like they say that's the one sin that Satan would never do, not believe in Jesus.
See, that's true. Honestly, you shouldn't baptize babies. You should wait till they're adults. That is a fair statement. Because what I plan on doing is I do want to take my kids to different, like when I have children, I want to take them to different religious sermons, but to different religious sermons. So like different from different churches, because I think that'd be interesting. But I don't want to necessarily take them to get baptized or to do any of the specific rituals that the churches do, because I want them to just be well-rounded, well thought out, and let them decide what speaks to their heart.
Jesus, not believe in God. So Satan and the devil and his angels believe in Jesus and God. But not even the people here on earth will listen to that type of reason. Children of the devil. And that's what John 8 talks about.
That's all it's called. It's just called the confirmation. Yeah, you just call it a confirmation. But that's so interesting. Shout out Pope Francis. R.I.P. R.I.P. the real goat.
So, what can you do today to help the kingdom of God? What kind of lifestyle change can you make? Like I said, just anywhere, at least today, one thing on any platform you want, post something about Jesus, just one thing, spread it any way you can, or talk to your friends and family about it.
Was this it?
At least once today. Practice becoming a disciple of Jesus, which he ordered us to do, and then slowly make disciples of others. You'll have your group of disciples, you all believe in Jesus, keep spreading the word of Jesus, and you'll be unstoppable. So follow Jesus. And if you like what I'm doing here in this...
Also, people forget that Jesus, one thing I've been trying to bring up to a lot of Christians is that Jesus wasn't a Christian. If you want to be like super specific, Jesus was a Jew that was like preaching Judaism and was preaching what was considered like, or what he was considering true Judaism, which was why he was pushing back against like the Pharisees and stuff in the Bible, because he believed the Pharisees were going against what God's actual like point was.
Ministry, if you want to support the mission, I have my Cash App tag down below. That's one way to support it. I don't think I really have a donation button. I have a link below, but use it like PayPal, World, and that we may all...
He doesn't have the donation button because he doesn't have the watch hours. He has 9,000 subscribers somehow. What's his most... Oh, he was just doing Minecraft. Jesus in the book of John and Minecraft. Unlock the power of prayer. How to pray with confidence and faith. Great stuff. Go check out David Isaac for more amazing Jesus content. But I'm going to call it here. I have some stuff that I need to work on. I really do appreciate everybody that stopped into this real chill kind of stream. Take it easy. Go watch some of my other streams. I'll have some more content, hopefully for you by the end of this week. But I will be back on Wednesday to do another H3 waiting room stream. Thanks so much. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. This is Cap and Quasar signing off.